Shield magazine ring inside the American Bank Center. Your IceRays are facing off against the Wichita Falls Wildcats for their final regular season home weekend series. IceRays won 3-2 in overtime. They're looking to get another win and continue their race to the playoffs. Place with 27 losses. Wildcats enter tonight's game in first place with 88 points. 42 wins, 10 losses, and 5 overtime losses. Tonight is our Pack the House for Charity, being presented by Corpus Christi Calder Times, Harley Davidson, Key Wet Mattress Firm, and the Port of Corpus.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We're hoping to have a lot of listeners out there tonight because, frankly, this place is pretty packed here tonight. These Wildcats will have some amped-up fans cheering against them, so they can use all the support they can get. Welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Alex Von Coydel with you as always. Thanks again for joining us for another chapter of Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing. And you heard it correctly, folks. This place is fired up. Not a whole lot of empty seats at the American Bank Center tonight. It's the IceRays' final home game of the regular season, and it's their Pack the House night. The Wildcats will be next Friday night. And the Rays know full well how important these 2 points are for them, knowing their positioning in the standings right now, tied for that fourth and final playoff spot with the Odessa Jackalopes in the South Division. And Odessa's got the tiebreaker, so Corpus Christi not only has to tie them, they need to pass them up in the standings. And with a home crowd like this, going up against one of the league's finest, I don't think it will be too difficult for them to get themselves fired up. The Wildcats, on the other hand, having lost last night, will also look to bounce back after a heartbreaking defeat in overtime and make a statement here on the road. Rourke Russell said it earlier this week in an interview with KFDX. It doesn't matter so much who the audience is cheering for as much as it is how many people are out there, and there are quite a few out there tonight. And he says it's more exciting to play, and we'll see if the Wildcats come out with the fire that they're expected to after dropping, as was mentioned, a heartbreaker last night. Another incentive to play for, again, folks, they have the opportunity tonight to clinch their first South Division title in franchise history. The team's been around for 13 years, this being the 13th if you count the year the Rustlers were here. They have never once clinched a division title. They had the opportunity to last night. It slipped through their fingers on an overtime goal scored by Brad Power, which was his second of the night. Brad Power caused the IceRays to live and to fight another day and caused the Wildcats to go back to the Emerald Beach Hotel. A little bit upset, but they've come back rejuvenated. Today is a new day, and they know just a point tonight or a Brahmas defeat in either regulation or overtime will secure the Wildcats' first division title in franchise history. We're expecting both teams to come out with a whole lot of heart tonight, with the IceRays hanging on to their playoff hopes by a thread, and the Wildcats still seeking their first ever division title. We'll be in for another battle tonight, folks. Get yourselves ready. This series is just getting started. We'll be back with you in just a few short moments after some of these pregame festivities come to an end. Stay tuned. For those of you watching on fasthockey.com, the voice you hear is the voice of the public address announcer, Jim Carl, announcing the starting lineup for the home team, the Corpus Christi IceRays tonight. Number 12, Brady Crabtree, getting the nod at right wing. Brad Liliava, co-captain, also just announced. The other co-captain, Nathan Breyer, number 19, in white and orange tonight, skating towards his own goal. The Blue Liners, tonight for the Corpus Christi IceRays to start the game. Trevor Huser and Cody Lichtenvort will be the rear guards, and Dryden McKay starting in goal, and no surprise there. Had another very strong performance last night against the Wildcats, and was the Kona Ice second star of last night's game, second only to Brad Power, who scored 2 goals against the Cats. Dryden McKay with a 14-win season thus far, 13 losses, 2 overtime losses. Against the Wildcats, those numbers are probably significantly better. A .921 save percentage, which is pretty impressive. Close to that of the Wildcats star goaltender, Justin Kapelmaster, who will also be starting tonight. The Wildcats starting lineup is brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant, and it is as follows. DeMontis Sipis, Jeff Baum again, the rear guard starting for Josh Nelson and the Wildcats defensive core. They've done a tremendous job since being paired up together and have really come into their own as far as playing with one another. They've really established quite a bit of familiarity, quite a bit of chemistry, which is exactly what the coaching staff wants at this time of the season, with the postseason rapidly approaching. Starting at center, another line with quite a bit of chemistry. Nick Rosa, Johnny Lazarus, Austin Albrecht, the 20s line, who have been together really since the start of the season. They've been separated from time to time, but for the majority of the campaign, they have played alongside one another, and why not? They've done a tremendous job as well, setting each other up. And Johnny Lazarus and Austin Albrecht go way back to their days with the Rockets, way back in New Jersey when they played before coming to Wichita Falls, and last season. The two of them, of course, veterans with the Wildcats. Now a pretty sentimental announcement by the PA announcer, Jim Carl. This is the last regular season home game for the Corpus Christi IceRays tonight, as was mentioned, and all their players now lined up on their own goal line. The PA announcer giving thanks, of course, to the billet families, the biological families.
Relationship to others, and so much more. The benefits derived from placing the players with billet families is truly immeasurable. And thank you to Shelley Graham, Director of Building, who volunteers to place these young men in these homes. At this time, the players would like to acknowledge and thank their billet families.
In addition to Pack the House night, this is also the IceRays Billet Family Appreciation Night. So a lot of the billet families now making their way onto the red carpet in the IceRays zone. The Rays lined up directly across, facing the billet families now at their goal line. And they'll be skating out to greet them and to thank them for all that they have done for them. A couple of billet families all the way from Wichita Falls in attendance tonight as well, and a couple of biological families. We mentioned last night Garrett Van Wy's parents here in attendance all the way from Seattle, Washington. Holden Cronin's billet parents, Lori and Will Hane, here from Wichita Falls as well. Made a long 8-hour bus ride down here to get here, and did the same thing last year, although last season when they came here it was during spring break and they had a bit of difficulty with the hotel situation, which we've had the last couple of times we've been here because of not only spring breakers, but the other festivities going on in Corpus Christi today. Skills USA competition going on just outside the rink. Folks from all over the state of Texas down here to show off some of their skills, some of their vocational skills. Range from anything from cooking an omelet to building a really fancy grill. We've seen it all out there outside of the American Bank Center since arriving here. Just about every single hotel in town is booked. So We were forced out of our hotel earlier this afternoon, earlier than we expected to be. But when you're forced out on the town in Corpus Christi, it's not so much of a bad thing. It's really a beautiful town right here on the bay. The rink just outside of the ocean. An entire side of the rink actually completely glass, just looking out straight out to the Gulf of Mexico there. Really just a beautiful location. Got to commend these players for not getting too distracted. Not only the players who play in Corpus Christi, but those who travel down here to play. We can hope the Wildcats will not be distracted tonight because they've got a lot to play for, a lot on the line, a lot at stake, just like last night with the opportunity to clinch their first ever South Division title. Last night fell just short, fell 1 point short, fell 1 goal short. And showed a lot of heart during that 3-on-3 despite being outskated, I would say, for the majority of it. Generated some scoring chances, the most significant of which I believe was Johnny Lazarus's opportunity, in which he dipped the shoulder, took it in behind the IceRays defenseman, had a tremendous opportunity out in front of the net, and the goaltender Dryden McKay with a very timely poke check on him to negate the opportunity. Puck ended up right on the stick of Drake Lindsay, who is now tied for first on the IceRays in scoring this season with 36 points. Perhaps he has actually passed Carter Johnson. I'm going to verify that right now. Looks like he and Lindsay, I was correct, are tied at 37 points this season. Lindsay very much a pass-first type of player. A lot more assists than he has goals. 12 goals, 25 assists, 37 points, and tremendous pass he made over to Brad Power, who slammed it into a gaping net. Kapelmaster with an effort to dive over and make the stop, but just couldn't get over in time. Brad Power with a very heavy shot, led the IceRays in goals for quite a while this season. Now is just second behind only Carter Johnson in goals. Had 2 of them last night. And Noah Gilraith, the only defenseman back on that play, was put in a very difficult situation. 2 of the most skilled players the IceRays have, Drake Lindsay, Brad Power, coming in on a 2-on-1 against Noah Gilraith, who probably played the shooter more than he would have liked. But when things happen at that speed, it's very difficult to make the perfect decision. Noah played a heck of a game last night. That's just one shift he won't want to revisit. Or not even the shift, I wouldn't say, just the play, as a matter of fact. But all the Wildcats need to do now is just get one more either overtime or shootout defeat, or have the Lone Star Brahmas lose to the Odessa Jackalopes. The Brahmas are in Odessa tonight, taking on the Jacks for the second of a 2-game series, as the billet families are now being thanked formally by everyone in the arena. The Brahmas need both points for every single game remaining in the season, which is 3. Tonight they play against Odessa on the road, and the next 2 games will be at the Nitec Center against the Topeka Roadrunners. Nick Rosa skates to center ice, along with co-captain Brad Lilyav. The ceremonial puck drop will be taking place. Coach Jay Siebert and Yvonne Jaggard will drop the puck. Good gesture made by Nick Rosa, shaking the hands of the 2 puck droppers. And now Christopher Dunn will drop the puck, Executive Vice President of Marketing with the IceRays. They've got a whole line of people here, folks, to drop the puck.
Executive Director Tony Reyes.
I was not aware of this until right before puck drop, really, but the game wasn't scheduled, or ceremonial puck drop, I should say. The game was not actually scheduled to start until 7:11, which is a little bit later than normal. At the KYC, the puck is always scheduled to drop, or almost always scheduled to drop at 7:05 p.m. But the IceRays and all their pregame festivities that they so often have usually takes a little bit longer. It is now 7:19. And I was told by the Corpus Christi broadcaster Colin Shuck last year there were so many delays, not only for things like this, but the stuff that was happening outside and the Skills USA folks that were here from all over the state of Texas. Didn't start until 8:30. Rockport Fulton High School Choir will be singing our country's national anthem. Stand by. Rockport Fulton High School getting quite a major dose of a good round of applause here from the folks at the American Bank Center. Lots of red carpet to roll off the ice at the moment. Lots of blue carpet as well for the choir kids down there. Stinger Ray, the IceRays mascot, skating over there to help them out. Wildcats hockey is brought to you by Armored Roofing. This first period is brought to you by American Classifieds. The starting lineup for the Wildcats will be read to you one more time because we know there was quite a bit of a delay. Starting in goal tonight, Justin Kappelmaster with 32 wins, second most in the entire North American Hockey League. He gets the nod between the pipes for John LaFontaine and the Cats. Starting on defense, Demontis Sipus, Jeff Baum. Baum, who leads the Wildcats defensemen in points with 29 this season, a plus 18 rating. Very impressive stats. This has been his breakout season without a doubt. He will be starting tonight on defense for the Cats alongside Dom Sipus. And the 20s line again, Nick Rosa, who took part in that ceremonial puck drop, will take place in the real first puck drop of this hockey game. He will be flanked tonight by Johnny Lazarus and Austin Albrecht. The two of them were both pretty strong candidates for this month's forward of the month. Johnny Lazarus, of course, returning after a 4-game injury took him out, in which he hurt his shoulder pretty bad back on February 26th at the KYC. He came back and really has done nothing but help his team. Last night, not his best performance since the return. A couple of penalties he probably would have liked back. But up until last night, he had scored a point in every single one of these games that he has played. 7 points through his first 4 games since returning from the injury, and he led the team in plus-minus throughout the month of March, which is simply incredible. Austin Albrecht led the team in points with 8 through the month of March. I should really practice some tongue twisters before these games start. You hear the crowd, folks. Hope you're as fired up as they are. Lots to play for here tonight for both sides. The Wildcats, if you're watching on fasthockey.com, in their all blacks, they will be skating from your left to your right. The IceRays in their white and their orange will be skating from your right to your left to start period 1. The referee tonight, Stephen Rouliard. The linesman, Tyler Loftus and Logan Belgraf. The opening faceoff is dropped. The puck battle is underway, and the Wildcats chase it down in behind their own net. Dom Sipus takes a big body check from Brad Liliab. Puck is not cleared as a quick shot from the half boards is blocked down and taken by Albrecht, who manages to get it out to the neutral zone. Johnny Lazarus on his off wing in pursuit of it takes it in behind Lichtenvoort, who rides him into the corner wall. Now the puck pops loose. Albrecht is tripped up. No penalty. Here come the Rays on the counterattack. Could be a 3-on-2 here. Matt Hines, Noah Gilraith defending. Into the slot, a shot pad save, Kappelmaster. His first test of the evening. Now it's taken by Crabtree, and he will guide it on back to the point. Long shot, glove save, Kappelmaster. Matt Hines is playing in his first game in quite a while. He missed out for a little bit, was not playing, and wasn't too thrilled. He's getting his chance tonight in replacement of Michael Rounds, who is one of the healthy scratches here tonight, alongside Holden Cronin. Adam Goodsir will take this defensive zone draw. He wins it cleanly against Carter Johnson. Now Andre Paisan takes over behind his own net. Brendan Miller harassing him down there. Paisan will get it off for Noah Gilraith. Good to see Andre Paisan complete the game last night. His last experience in Corpus Christi was not so great as Bolio drives hard to the net. McKay made the stop, does not see it. Finally now he knows where it is, and it's in the neutral zone. It's Brad Power, had 2 goals last night. We'll see if the hot stick continues, but he lost the puck to Jake Dalton. Fine defensive play for Dalton, although he has struggled in the offensive department. Sets up Goodsir across the line. Goodsir to the goal, fan on the shot. Rolls on target, then popped into the corner. Stevie Bryant with the puck on his stick down the left wing side. Bryant, a native of Edmonds, Washington, a pretty close friend to Garrett Van Wy. Slides it through the goal mouth and wide of the net. Right point, Mike Bevilacqua tried to get it deep. No luck with that. He's stymied there by Yeager, and the puck is cleared. Out to neutral ice once more. Andy McGlynn goes the width there, and it's taken by Colton Meekoff. Long-range shot, easy stick save, Kappelmaster. Toby Kircher backhands it in deep, then he goes to the IceRays bench for a line change. Drake Lindsay intercepting the pass off the half boards. He holds it in the attacking zone and will drop it off for a shot that Kappelmaster stopped, though he didn't see. Now Van Wy will chop it beyond the reach of Huser and back out to center ice once more. Drake Lindsay gave it across, and it's taken up by Cody Lichtenvort, who will give it back to Lindsay. A pretty good deke move, faked out Ryan Burnett. Lindsay tied for the lead in scoring for the IceRays this season with 37 points. Got it deep in behind the Wildcats net. Kappelmaster will leave it there for Baum. Baum outlets it for Van Wy. Missed him, and Huser's blast is stopped by Kappelmaster. Another routine stop for him. He is 3 for 3. Trevor Huser once more trickles the puck over the Wildcats line. Kruger in pursuit. Huser is down. Long shot. Stick save Kappelmaster. Left point could not be kept in by Spillum. Here comes Austin Albrecht down his off wing. Albrecht has to spin and pivot. He's got 3 IceRays blocking his view to the goal. He went to the trailer, and it was Gilraith. Kicked it towards the corner wall, and then he gets slammed into there by Tucker Bender. Ryan Burnett couldn't work it to Albrecht, and now it's going to be hauled down the left wing side. Keenan Spillum gets it over the line for Lilyav, who throws it in deep behind the Cats' goal line. Gilraith stops, tries to set up Hines. Few players shifting around down there. Now it comes to the half wall, and the Wildcats wedge it off the glass that separates the 2 benches, so it's out of play. And I believe this faceoff will probably stay in the Wildcats zone. No, my apologies. Tyler Loftus deciding that the faceoff will take place in the neutral zone here. 16:41 to go in period 1. It's still a scoreless game here in Corpus Christi. The Wildcats have yet to get their first shot on goal. Alex Von Coydel with you as always, thanking all of you for joining us on fasthockey.com and on YouTube. Hopefully the Wildcats can have a different outcome to tonight's game. Nick Rosa with a clean face-off win in the left circle in the Cats zone. Dalton will wedge it up the boards, but it's kept in by Mike Bevilacqua. Fires from a severe angle, stopped by Kappelmaster. Bevilacqua scored on a similar looking shot, almost identical looking shot to that, back at the KYC several months ago, way back in January against Kappelmaster. Just skated it down towards the goal line even, then just ripped a wrist shot, and it squeaked through Kappelmaster's equipment. Puck is thrown wing to wing and in behind the IceRays net. Nathan Breyer is back to get it. Sets up fellow co-captain Brad Lilyav in his own zone. Mike Bevilacqua on the right wing. Failed to clear it. Paisan fresh off the bench. Gives it to Goodsir with a backhand shot that goes wide short side. Paisan corrals it. Dishes off for Bolio. Bolio gives it back to Sipus now with a long wrist shot. Tipped on goal and swallowed by McKay for his first save of the night. And a bit of a disagreement ensuing shortly thereafter. Andre Pizon losing his helmet and giving some pushes and shoves to Mike Bevilacqua. I don't think they're going to let them go. I'd like to give a shout out to the Thompsons and Jared Blakeman, the three of them tuning in, along with several others at the house. It's a big party there tonight. Thanks for supporting the Wildcats, folks, and hopefully the Wildcats can get a win for you tonight. And I'm sure they'll be happy to know they've got tons of people back home near Wichita Falls supporting them, because it's a pretty adversarial crowd the Cats are up against, a pretty Herculean task here. They've got one more road game before they have to go back home. Or get to go back home, I should say. Noah Gilroy's just been let off the ice, folks, and he's been followed closely by the trainer, Brian Detheridge. So hopefully he's okay. We'll see who Josh Nelson decides to pair with Matt Hines out there now. But Gilraith has just gone down the tunnel. So this faceoff will take place in the offensive zone for the Cats, and it's won cleanly by Goodsir. Sipus back to Baum, long shot redirected. Goes harmlessly into the left corner. Pizon colliding with Tucker Bender. Adam Goodsir advances it in behind the net. Pizon's got it, gives it to Bulio. His shot went off a stick and goes wide. Baum now got it deep. Did well to elude power. Now Goodsir's stuff attempt from the side of the net, and McKay had the paddle down. He made the stops, and Goodsir going at it now with Lichtenvoort. Both guys pushing and shoving. Goodsir wants to go, I think. Lichtenvoort's really not happy with him. And the linesman not letting this turn ugly here in the early going. And they're saying there's plenty of game left to be played, boys. Goodsir's going to have a seat. And based on the signal I saw from Stephen Rouillard, it looked like a slash, and John LaFontaine's not happy with that. He's getting an explanation on the bench. And that looked like a pretty coincidental confrontation there, folks. Both Goodsir and Lichtenvoort were exchanging pleasantries down there. By no means was it a one-sided affair, and you can see it now. Maybe that's the little jab that got him. And that's what I'm guessing. Goodsir with an extra little jab with a stick, and the referee, Stephen Rouillard, didn't like that. So Goodsir is going to have a seat, and the Wildcats go to their first penalty kill of the night, which is brought to you by Parkway Grill. The IceRays did score a power play goal last night off the stick of Brad Power to open their scoring. Regardless, the Wildcats' penalty kill this season has been a tremendous strength to their team, unlike last season, in which it was more of a weakness than anything. Nathan Breyer got it back to Meekoff, long shot, redirected just wide by Miller. The IceRays out shooting the Cats 6-2 here 5 minutes into period one. Swung back once more to the right point. Beautiful pass along the line from Meekoff to Kircher, who delivers down to the goal line. Meekoff gets it back, high slot, top of the right circle now. We'll swing the pass back to Kircher. He hangs on. Dishes into the corner for Mason Kruger. His pass hotly into the slot, bounced away from Miller, picked up by Breyer. Breyer cycling his way in down low, sets up Meekoff, back to Kircher, left point, long shot blocked by Yeager. Dalton chops at it, great keep at the blue line. No, it was not a keep. Logan Belgraf saying he had crossed the blue line, so an offside whistle is blown. The puck ended up out of play regardless, but it was redirected off a Cat stick, so instead of a defensive zone face-off, this will be taken in the neutral zone now. The IceRays, Colton Meekoff pleading his case, but it doesn't matter. Thank you very much to Roger Burnett and the Burnett family, whose weekly journey finds them watching from Denver tonight. It's always a new adventure for them, always interesting to see where they're tuning in from. So Denver, Colorado, the destination tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Burnett family. Hopefully Ryan can get another point tonight. He had a beautiful assist last night. He has been held scoreless, however, or goalless, I should say, for quite a few consecutive games. However, as a long drive from Lichtenvoort is denied by Kapellmeister. Ryan Burnett now on a 16-game goalless drought, despite despite generating quite a bit of offense for his teammates and offensive opportunities for himself. Just hasn't been able to find the twine. I'm sure it will not be long. Regan Kavanaugh in the lineup tonight. He was not last night. December's forward of the month gets it in behind the Cats' net. Jeff Baum advancing it for Paisan and then blasting it into the Cats' bench off the glove hand of Cody Lichtenvoort. So we'll see where this face-off takes place. Face-off win by Austin Bolio, who's given a nice pass from behind the Wildcats goal line by Paisan. Bolio stick handling, ran into a couple of IceRays. Goodsers out of the box. We're 5 skaters aside, and the Cats are 1 for 1 on the Parkway Grill penalty kill tonight. Big collision there, delivered by Nikita Litviak. He finished his check hard and well against Brady Crabtree, the former Amarillo Bull. Now Litviak dangles through center. Offside was Goodser, and the whistle blows. 12:58 to go in period 1 here. 7-2 the shots, but no score at the American Bank Center. The shots heavily favoring Corpus Christi through the first 7 minutes of play. Eric Yeager's going to take a neutral zone draw against the native of Mannheim, Germany, Toby Kircher. Linesman interfering with that play a little bit. And another big body check given by Litviak. He's really throwing the body here, folks. Trying to energize his bench, and from what I've been told, he is somebody who loves to do that. Probably as much as, if not more so, than any other player the Wildcats have on their bench. Yeager with a clean face-off win at the IceRays logo. Rourke Russell goes D-to-D now for Jake Dalton. Bowling Green State commit splits the ice for Dillinger, who dumps it in off the redirect and then finishes his check on Colton Meekoff in behind the IceRays goal. Stevie Bryant met by a pinching Dalton. Yeager battling for it, kicked it to his stick and gets it back to Litviak, who winds and fires. Pad saved by McKay. Now out to the left half boards. Russell turns one toward the net. Delayed penalty upcoming. It will be against the IceRays, and the Wildcats will now go to their first power play of the game. It's going to be an elbow against Mike Bevilacqua, who is arguing the call, but he's going to have a seat. The Wildcats power play is brought to you by Jim Arnold's Collision Repairs. Large enough to accommodate, but small enough to appreciate. Austin Bolio in the high slot, shot blocked by Paisan, who took a tumble shortly thereafter. The puck's been cleared by the IceRays in the meantime. Kapelmaster out to meet it in behind his own goal, and he's going to leave it off for Jeff Baum. The Cats with 1:45 to work this power play here. 8 minutes into period 1. We're still scoreless here at the American Bank Center. Game 2 of 2 in this last road series for the Wildcats of the 2015-16 campaign. Paisan advanced it towards the corner. Bolio with a good keep along the half boards. Gives it to Baum at the point. His long shot went well high and rattles off the glass. Bolio pinching in down there in the left corner. Sets up Goodser in the middle. Gives it to Paisan, whose shot goes wide short side. Goodser's backhander smothered by the glove of Dryden McKay. Dryden McKay last night stopped 25 of the 27 shots which were fired his direction. And that's not out of the ordinary for him, especially against the Wildcats. Jake Dalton with the puck on his stick in the high slot, unloads from there, stopped again by McKay and no rebound. Jake Dalton is actually facing a longer goalless drought than any other player on the Wildcats right now. He hasn't scored in 30 games, scored a goal. He has helped in the assist department, no question about that, and has helped significantly in his own zone where the stats are not so easy to read. but the goals have just not come for him as of late. His last goal was a beauty, that's for sure. It was a play of the week back on November 7th in Amarillo. It was a game-winning goal, and it was a snipe. It's been a while since then. Lazarus put it in front. Redirected off the stick of Litviak into the high slot. Cleared ahead. Lindsay in pursuit of it. Kappelmaster will beat him to it. Kappelmaster faked out Lindsay, the forechecker, and dishes to Albrecht now. Austin Albrecht, the Wildcats' leading point scorer with over 50 points. The only Wildcat who can say that this season. Puck is dumped deep. Albrecht, to be exact, has 55. He still has the opportunity to reach 60 points, which has only been done by one Wildcat in recent memory. Colin Staub, the leading scorer from last season, is now playing at the University of Denver, and the might eventually be Adam Goodsir's teammate in the future. Van Wy put it towards the crease, steered aside. Brendan Miller's going to be first to it. Dillinger hustles back. Dillinger cuts the lane from Miller, who pivots well, gets Dillinger down, pivots his way to the net, shoots, he scores! That was just a picturesque shot. For those of you watching on FastHockey.com, he really could not have put that anywhere else if he wanted to score. Kappelmaster had the entire near side of the net covered. Brendan Miller spun away from Trent Dillinger. There was another IceRay entering the zone late on that rush. There was a trailer, and the Wildcats had to be cognizant of him, and in doing so, they left Miller with a ton of room, and he just took advantage, skated his way towards the front of the net, put it from his backhand to his forehand, and slipped the puck into the far area of the net as Goodsir hammers one. Shoulder save by McKay. That nearly crossed the goal line. Paisan battling for it now. Long blast from Gilraith, blocked. Gilraith follows up with a second shot, blocked again. Paisan has it left point, dishes it across. Hines holds and fires, missed high and wide. As Bolio spins with it, gives it to Andre Paisan. Got it back to Bolio now behind the IceRays net. Backhands one towards the goal. Pad save McKay. That nearly went through the 5-hole, and then Goodsir's backhand shot blocked by a stick and out of play. 9:45 to go in period one. The IceRays have scored a shorthanded goal off the stick of Brendan Miller. Miller was with his 7th goal of the season. His 21st point. And to my recollection, the last few times a team has scored first in this building, it's typically gone against them. I know it as Albrecht rather centered in front, hopped away from Rosa. It did last night. It did back on March 11th, the first of a 2-game series down here about 3 weeks ago. Colton Meekoff unloaded from the left point and scored to open the scoring in that game, and the Wildcats would go on to win that one. So it's become pretty common for at least between these two teams. There was another case at the KYC when Bevilacqua scored first, and the Cats also would go on to win 6-2. I believe twice in a row at the KYC, so just about every single time someone scores first, the opposing team comes back to win when the Cats and the Rays come together. An interesting little tidbit of information for you there, but we'll see if that's consistent to tonight's outcome. Mark Russell gets the puck back after playing it off of a defenseman, an opposing player's skates. That was a pretty clever move by the young defenseman out of Long Beach, California. Now Jake Dalton takes it back behind his own net, gives it around the end boards. Russell with a dangerous touch on the puck, a backhand shot right in front of the net. Kappelmaster bailing Russell out big time in that save there with the pads as Dillinger pursues that puck down the right wing side. Lichtenvoort is back. Dillinger stops, waiting for Litviak. Good poke check by Lichtenvoort to break it up. Dillinger now powers his way to the front and slides it through the blue paint. Jeff Baum pinches down the half boards, dumps it in around the end boards. Colton Meekoff with an effort to clear, couldn't do so because of the good forecheck from Dillinger as the puck is just hooked into center down into the Wildcat zone where they will recharge. Dom Sipus for Jeff Baum with 8 minutes to go in period one. The Cats trail 1-0. Burnett lays a pass ahead for Yeager. Cuts over the line, ran into some traffic. Burnett's drive, glove saved by McKay, and it bounced behind him and just wide of the post. You don't see Ryan Burnett taking heavy slap shots like that very often. He likes the wrist shot, but boy, can he bring it. Dom Sipus now to the right wing for Garrett Van Wy, who sends Poikala on his way. Onside, Poikala centers, goes off the stick of McKay, hobbles out to the right point. Gilraith is there. He'll slap it down low to Poikala. Poikala looking for the trailer in Van Wy, sticked away by Kircher. Van Wy's shot stopped by McKay. And the IceRays once more will clear. Will this go far enough? I don't think so. Hines touches up. He'll have to play it. No icing forthcoming. Poikala turns away from Andy McGlynn. Hooks one about 50 feet in the air as it bounces on Ryan Burnett in the neutral zone, and Keenan Spillum will chop it back in. 7 minutes remain in the first period of the game here tonight. 1-0 the score in favor of the Rays. The shots are nearly even, 10-9 at Corpus. Bolio, top of the right circle, fires, pad save by McKay. Now the shots are even at 10 apiece. Bolio left circle, left point Hines, returns it for Bolio at the goal line. He will backhand it around the back of the net there, and it's going to be corralled by Lindsay, who collects it and flips it forth. Hines with a one-handed jab at the puck. Regan Cavanaugh had it between his skates. The IceRays reset at center in the midst of a line change. Matt Hines once more has to weave through center, gets around Drake Lindsay and dumps it in from his backhand. He heads to the bench and is replaced by Rourke Russell. Meanwhile, the IceRays rattle it off the glass. Regan Cavanaugh has it on the right side. Advances it along the sideboards near the benches. Lazarus on the intercept will send Nick Rosa on his way down the right wing. Rosa drops it off for Albrecht, punched away from him. The IceRays on the intercept again, flip it down the length of the ice. This time, this will be far enough for icing. Exactly 6 minutes remain in period one. 10-10 the shots, 1-0 the score in favor of Corpus Christi. And Ronnie Earl Baker Jr. from back home tuned in again tonight. Says it's good to hear me broadcasting, and it's good to tune in to the Wildcats. Thanks so much, Ronnie, for all that you do for the Wildcats organization and for the support that you give the Wildcats on YouTube.com. Tuning in from Wichita Falls. Right off the face-off, Baum's shot was blocked. It's loose in the blue paint and swatted out towards the half boards. Eric Yeager jostling for it from Brad Power. The puck is lofted back out to center once more. Jeff Baum is there to play it. Baum got it off the sideboards. Eric Yeager collecting. He dumps it in. Dillinger goes right into the end boards to battle for it with Tucker Bender. Yeager now fighting for the puck. Sipus helping him out. He punched it around the wall. Jeff Baum keeps it in. Bounces off an IceRays glove, and they reset. Litviak on the forecheck. The IceRays managed to get the puck out to center and beyond. Spillum with a long shot into the glove of Kappelmaster, and no further play.
All right, let's head on to Raven in section 105.
We go finally to our first period media timeout. Have not had a whole lot of stoppages. So the Cats and the IceRays going to get a chance for a breather here. And to the Rosa family tuning in from Birmingham, Michigan, the hometown of Nick Rosa, number 24 in black tonight for the Wildcats. Tuning in on fasthockey.com, and they're excited to travel to Wichita Falls next weekend to see Nick Rosa in action during Fan Appreciation Weekend, Thursday and Friday night, free home games. So thanks very much to Lori Rosa, Todd Rosa, the Rosa family for tuning in on fasthockey.com and supporting the Wildcats. And Nick Rosa, who is really starting to blossom with his new line mates. New old line mates, I should say. Probably was separated from Johnny Lazarus and Austin Albrecht longer than he would have liked to be. And now that the three of them are reunited, the chemistry has been undeniable. Nick Rosa actually came onto this team, started as a right wing. Was not his favorite position. When playing at Brother Rice High School, a team he captained to a Michigan State championship in his senior year. He was almost exclusively a center as Ryan Burnett carries over the blue line, then takes a hit from Brad Liliev. Looked like a high flying elbow, no penalty. Nathan Breyer on the counterattack, gives it to Keenan Spillum. Left wing, turns away from Gilraith, jabbed away from him and back out to center. But as I was saying, Nick Rosa, a very polite kid, of course, didn't want to step on the coach's toes. And when he was finally asked if he was more comfortable at center, he said, "Yes, coach, I am." And ever since then, Nick Rosa has been nothing but a center. in every single game since. As Goodser is given a healthy hit by Toby Kircher, and Bolio goes right after him. Nothing's going to come of this as they separate themselves without the parenting of the linesman. Now Bryant gets it ahead for Kircher, hobbles away from him. Bolio back checking, collecting it there. Andre Paisan turns nicely away from Toby Kircher, then finishes his check on Bevilacqua. 4:15 to go in period one. 1-0 the score in favor of the Rays. The shots are deadlocked at 10 apiece as a bad pass from the Wildcats in behind the IceRays goal line ends up going all the way back down into the Cat zone. Kappelmaster for Russell. Lindsay steals it from Dalton now in the corner. Regan Kavanaugh for Lindsay. Now it's Mason Kruger in behind the Cats net. Trying to backhand it to an open point occupied by Bevilacqua, who runs into Austin Albrecht, and he's hurt. Austin Albrecht was really had his bell rung there as he labors back onto his skates and onto the bench as he's given some taps from his sympathetic teammates after that one. Boy, lots of oohs and ahs from the crowd after that, as a long 100-foot shot just goes wide of the goal. Kappelmaster got just a piece of it. Puck bounces away from Litviak. Carter Johnson pushes it into the corner. He'll try to give it back. Bender goes point to point now. Long shot from Cody Lichtenvort, trickles wide. Sipus advancing it to the point. Long shot from Bender, smothered up by Kappelmaster for his 11th save of period one. Kappelmaster 11 of 12, McKay 10 for 10. 3:11 remain in period one, and it's 1-0 Corpus. Poikla with a pretty big defensive zone draw here against Carter Johnson. Johnson wins it cleanly, gives it to Power in the high slot. Long shot, well off target. Burnett for Poikla, now for Van Wy. Opened the scoring last night for the Wildcats with a, I don't want to call it a tap-in goal, but he had virtually the entire net to shoot at, courtesy of a great pass made by Ryan Burnett. Van Wy started the entire play to get Burnett off to the races, and he used his speed to their advantage. In fact, both of them did. Brad Lilyav, a good pass from Meekoff, skates in right side, shoots, stick save, cleared by Gilraith. Good stick by him, but there would have been a dangerous rebound laying right on the doorstep. So a fine defensive play made by Noah Gilraith, and those are the types of plays that don't show up on the stat sheet but are essential to a team's success. Noah Gilraith has made plays like that all season long. As Bolio takes a good pass on the right wing and shoots, and it's punched into the glass, and McKay has to dive over there. It bounced back towards the net into the blue paint. McKay was turned around the opposite way and had to glove it before it hobbled back in the net. Play continues here. Puck battle going on in the corner, in the left corner, in the IceRays zone. Colton Meekoff ends up with it. That's Lichtenvort, rather, and he will flop it all the way down. It bounces wide of the goal. Kappelmaster puts his glove on it, and we get a whistle here from Tyler Loftus. This might be offside or icing, perhaps, by the goaltender by the IceRays. So the Cats will get an offensive zone draw out of this. The Rays unable to change a few tired skaters. We'll see if Wichita Falls can take advantage here. 2 minutes remain in the first period. They trail by 1. Division title still on the line tonight. They can do it by simply taking the IceRays to overtime. That's all they've got to do to clinch it. Or the Jackalopes can help them out and defeat the Lone Star Brahmas in regulation or overtime. That game scoreless through one period of play at the Ector County Coliseum out in Odessa. Cody Lichtenvort will backhand the puck the length of the ice. Kappelmaster leaves it and then eventually picks it back up and wraps it around the half boards, or the corner boards, I should say. McGlynn tried to center from in behind the net with a no-look pass. Kircher delivers back to Meekoff, stolen from him. It's a 2-on-1 for the Cats. Austin Albrecht, left wing side. Lazarus the other side. Albrecht tried to go across for Lazarus. Tremendous defensive play made by Tucker Bender to intercept the pass. Now it's Meekoff punching it ahead. Toby Kircher, pretty tired towards the end of his shift, dumps the puck deep. 5 fresh skaters on the ice for Corpus. Tom Sipus wheels through the neutral zone, gains the red line, tries to dump it. It flutters in the direction there of Mike Bevilacqua. The last minute of play is brought to you by La Quinta Inn & Suites, the official host hotel of your Wichita Falls Wildcats. As you heard from the public address announcer Jim Carl, just 55 seconds remain in period 1. The Cats trailing the Rays by a score of 1-0. Yeager and Litviak dump it into the right corner. Litviak goes in after it. taking a few pushes and shoves from Mike Bevilacqua there to the two of them fighting for it. Litviak won the puck, sends it back to the deep slot. Baum kept it in just barely at the blue line. Now Yeager right circle, fires, chest save, rebound. And that one did not go. I don't know how. Dillinger looked like he had a pretty big chunk of the net to shoot at, and Dryden McKay made a tremendous glove save. And some good net front presence by Trent Dillinger, the newest Wildcat. John LaFontaine and Austin Albrecht each commending him for his efforts there. Boy, folks, I can't believe that was not a goal. Dryden McKay with another strong glove save. Half a minute remains in the first period. Lichtenvoort gains the red line, dumps it in off the sideboards. Matt Hines takes Crabtree out of the play. Noah Gilraith collects it, gives it to Boykla through him. Lichtenvoort now backhands it towards the crease. Picked off by Gilraith. There he goes. Gilraith got it to the right wing side. Garrett Van Wy flying right past the defense with a backhand shot that goes wide blocker's side. 8 seconds remain in the period. Shot thrown towards the net by Hines. Went off a couple of sticks. Bender has it in the left corner in the Corpus zone, and that's going to wrap things up for period one. The first period of Wildcats hockey was brought to you by American Classifieds, and it comes to an end with the scoreboard tilted the wrong direction. It's 1-0 Corpus Christi. The shots even at 13 apiece. So both goaltenders pretty busy in that first frame, just like they were last night. Justin Kappelmaster, 12 of 13. Dryden McKay, perfect, 13 of 13. The second periods have been the Wildcats' bread and butter, especially against Corpus Christi. It outscored them 18-3 going into last night's game. Now it's 18-5. Still dominant, obviously. The stats reflecting dominance from the Wildcats. But last night, nowhere near reflective of the Wildcats in their second period dominance this season. We'll see what the future holds, the very near future holds for the Wildcats and their second period fortunes when we come back. In the meantime, we're going to step aside, take a short break, and in just a few short minutes, folks, we'll be back to break down that first period for you in a bit greater detail, give you an out-of-town scoreboard update, and much more. Stay tuned, everyone.
Officer of the Boy Scouts of America, and with some special guests. Randy, go ahead. Thanks so much. Good evening, IceRays fans. How are you? Outstanding. Well, again, my name's Randy Ramos, the Executive Director of the Boy Scouts of America right here in the South Texas Council. It is my pleasure, along with the IceRays, to honor this great group of young Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. The 9th point of the Scout Law is thrifty. Young men have joined the $1,500 club by selling over $1,500 worth of popcorn to support the scouting program all over the South Texas Council. Combined, as a council, we sold well over $800,000 worth of popcorn to support scouting. 77% of that stays right here in our local area to support our camps, support our scouts, and support our programs. So, again, every one of these kids sold over $1,500, but tonight we'd like to make a special presentation to our top salesman who sold over $6,000 worth of popcorn by himself. And we're going to have Ronnie Christensen to come on up. We want to present to him a jersey on behalf of the Boy Scouts and our IceRays. Good job, Ronnie. Let's give all the Scouts one big round of applause, and let's go IceRays. Thank you guys, and congratulations to them. Great organization, good chance for that kid.
Some gift cards being given out down there, courtesy of Whataburger. That intermission game, the beach balls being dropped from the rafters way up here at the American Bank Center. I imagine that's got to be more difficult than it looks. Kind of require a pretty good deal of hand-eye coordination. I imagine some of the players might want to try that out before a game to work on their coordination. And now, folks, time for your intermission report, your out-of-town scoreboard update before we break down what happened in that first period. All 4 Eastern teams in action tonight, although next year it will not just be 4 Eastern teams, it will be at least 5 with the Northeast Generals joining from the New England, Boston area. We'll be participating in the North American Hockey League next season, so we'd like to welcome the Northeast Generals. But for the teams that are active this season, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights trailing the Johnstown Tomahawks by a score of 5-1 out in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, an interstate matchup. The New Jersey Titans hosting the Aston Rebels and leading them 3-1. That is their final game of the season for both of those teams. The Aston Rebels have already clinched that first place spot in the postseason, so this game meaningless for them in the standings. However, in games like this, it's always, or like that I should say, it's always pretty important to make a statement. New Jersey doing so tonight with a 3-1 lead through 2 periods of play. The Lone Star Brahmas and the Odessa Jackalopes, the game that I'm sure a lot of folks listening are curious as to the score. Unfortunately, there is not one for you. It's scoreless through 1. And getting a little bit deeper here, looks like the shots are 12-10 in favor of Odessa. The Brahmas with the only 2 shots of period 2 thus far. A couple of penalties. Looks like 3 penalties. 2 for cross-checking to Odessa Jackalopes, Connor Wood and Nate Werhane. And Hogan Davidson with a roughing penalty, not surprised by that. Halfway through period 1. Neither team has managed to score on the power play as obviously as the score remains 0-0. The Janesville Jets in Springfield tonight taking on the Junior Blues who need these wins. They've got the Cooley Region Chill right behind them with 3 games in hand, although the Junior Blues now have added to their lead in the Midwest Division for that 4th and final playoff spot. 64-61 the points in the standings. The Cooley Region Chill still with a very strong chance of catching Springfield for that last spot. Not sure which team has the tiebreaker, but Cooley Region, a team with some Wildcats folks, probably invested a little bit of stock in that team because of the former players and coaches that play for Cooley Region. Alex Faulkner, Shane Kuzmeski, former assistant coach Chris Saransky. Those diehard Wildcats fans, probably a Midwest team to look forward to in the postseason. Sorry for the drums, folks. They're pretty much right in my ear here. The Topeka Roadrunners trailing tonight to Amarillo. They blew them out last night 5-0, and they've got a $2 hot dog, $2 beer night. The exciting night up at the Kansas Expo Center. 1-0 Amarillo. Jake Rosenbaum with his first goal as an Amarillo Bull, set up by Phil Fromberger, got the ball rolling for the Bulls. Looks like that game is now in its first intermission as well. 1-0 again the score. Brookings Blizzard and Aberdeen taking on the Wings. They're a couple of teams that are in the cellar of the Central Division. Brookings with a 2-1 edge over Aberdeen. The Minnesota Magicians in Bismarck playing Parker Mismash's Bismarck Bobcats. 2-0 Minnesota. Mismash in the lineup tonight. A -1 has been held off the score sheet. Another former Wildcat. Speaking of former Wildcats, the Cooley Region Chill again playing tonight, and looks like the Minnesota Wilderness have just tied the game. 1-1 the score up at the Northwoods Credit Union Arena. Aaron Miller has just come through very late in period 1, so Cooley Region desperately trying to make the playoffs, trying to secure that last seed in the Midwest Division, I should say, battling with the Springfield Junior Blues. The Austin Bruins in Minot taking on the Minotauros. That game all evened up at 1 goal apiece. And former Wildcat Max Reisinger has also been held off the score sheet. And again, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs close their season tonight on home ice. They're hosting the Kenai River Brown Bears from 4 hours south of them down in southern Alaska. The Ice Dogs have the opportunity tonight to pass the 100-point plateau. They currently have 99. Not very often is a team able to reach 100 points in a season. Fairbanks Ice Dogs with a chance to do so tonight. The Janesville Jets did last season, if I'm not mistaken. If not, they came extremely close. I'll verify that. Yes, they did. 100 points exactly. The Janesville Jets last season reached 100. They had the best record in the North American Hockey League. This season, it's been the Fairbanks Ice Dogs for the last few weeks. The Wildcats, the only team for a while who were even in contention with them for the best record in the league. Fairbanks, however, with a clear edge, a 10-point edge over the Wildcats, an insurmountable edge at this point. But the Dogs with a 99-point season thus far, and they can make it 101 with a win tonight against the Kenai River Brown Bears. And if that's the case, then they'll have the, in all likelihood, the best record this league has seen since the Texas Tornado days. So, got to commend the Ice Dogs on a tremendous season they have had up in Fairbanks, Alaska. That game will not be played until much later, 7:30 p.m. Alaska time. As for this game, we're still about 6 minutes out. It's 1-0 Corpus Christi, courtesy of a Brendan Miller snipe. As you can see, for you viewers on fasthockey.com, the folks here really riled up, really excited after that. Been given a lot to cheer for, and the IceRays doing their job on a very raucous home crowd they're playing in front of here on Fan Appreciation Night. Again, 1-0 the score. Brendan Miller with a short-handed goal for Corpus Christi, his first of the season. 13-13 the shots on goal. A couple of penalties in that first period. One power play each. Both teams were stymied on their respective power plays. Adam Goodsir given a slashing penalty 4.5 minutes in. Mike Bevilacqua with an elbow 7.5 minutes in. Both teams' penalty kill units have done a pretty good job. The goaltenders, as everyone has said, have to be the best penalty killers, and they have been. Kappelmaster 12 of 13 through the first period. Dryden McKay, perfect, 13 of 13. We're 5 minutes out, folks. Stay tuned for third period action. Second period action, rather. Getting a little too far ahead of myself here. 40 minutes remain in this hockey game. Make no mistake, and the Wildcats, we expect, will come out with a whole new jump to their step. Stay tuned, folks. welcome back, everybody. We're just moments away from second period hockey, brought to you by American Classifieds. The Wildcats are all back out on the ice. They are set. Their players already on the benches. Those who are going to be starting tonight's second period already on the ice, getting themselves limbered up. 1-0 the score. After one period, 20 minutes have gone by. 13-13 the shots on goal. Only Brendan Miller managed to find Twine in that first period. He really snuck it into the far post on the inside of the post, beating Justin Kappelmaster, who had the near side covered. But a short-handed goal to Brendan Miller, and you got to condemn him. Or not condemn him, commend him for that beautiful shot. A short-handed goal, and the only goal that's been scored in this game thus far. The Wildcats hoping obviously to change that in this period. Second periods have been their strength. They outscore the IceRays in particular by a margin of 18-5 through second periods this season. We'll see if that changes tonight, or if that continues. The IceRays win the first drop of period 2. Dom Sipis pinches against Liliav, hits him pretty hard into the glass. Nick Rosa has to pursue the puck in his own zone after it was cleared by a couple of IceRays down the length. Rosa tries to chop it out beyond the reach of Liliav. Johnny Lazarus sets a nice pick for Rosa, who takes a pretty big hit there by Lichtenvoord at the blue line. Liliav gets it around the end boards. Brady Crabtree clears it all the way down. Kappelmaster touched it. It looked like it fooled Noah Gilraith a little bit. Austin Albrecht slicing through center, gets it past Carter Johnson, fires a shot, flutters into the glove of McKay, and he hangs on. That was a bit of a changeup, maybe even a knuckleball. Pretty tough stop by Dryden McKay. Goaltenders always expecting fast, hard shots. Everybody at the North American Hockey League level can fire that puck pretty hard, and when you get yourself square to a shot and you're prepared for it, and all of a sudden it's floating towards you at really slow speed, it kind of throws you off a little bit, so you got to give McKay credit for staying with it. He's 14 of 14 on the night. Puck is swatted down to the right point. Goodser keeps it alive. Beaulieu fires. It goes wide far side. Had some zip to it, but it missed the net. Gilraith collects it in the neutral zone, gives it right back to Beaulieu, who's in across the line. Beaulieu weaving his way into the slot and dropping it off nicely for Gilraith, who takes a shot off the stick of McKay. The puck flutters out to the right circle where Power will clear. Beaulieu is back to play it in his own zone. The Wildcats have looked like a far superior team through the first minute and a half or so of the second period. Adam Goodser has the puck from a nice pass by Noah Gilraith. He will cut through center and fire a shot that goes high and off the glass. Goodser was in the midst of changing. Litviak tried to give a pass to him, but he was already hopping off the bench. Now Yeager's in there in his stead. Puck bounces into the high slot. Dillinger chops at it. It's picked up by Andy McGlynn on the right wing side. He fires. Easy routine save by Kappelmaster. Jake Dalton collects the puck. He will give it ahead, bounces away from Litviak in the neutral zone. Kircher pursuing him. Litviak gets it right back over the blue line now along the half boards. Bevilacqua gives it behind his own net. Colton Meekoff has got it. Meekoff leads all IceRays defensemen in goals this season with 8 to his name and 17 points, and the Rays have just iced the puck. 17:40 remain now in period 2. 1-0 Corpus Christi. The only goal being scored by Brendan Miller on that short-handed goal, and it was a snipe. The Rays are going to have to keep the same 5 skaters out there. Clean face-off win in the offensive zone from the Wildcats. Jeff Baum shoots it wide of the net. Dom Sipis turns it towards the goal. Burnett couldn't shoot. An eventual shot stopped by McKay, loose on the doorstep, and Poikila was in a little bit too deep to get the rebound. McKay had it with his glove. And then a scrum ensues right away, and Rouillard is pointing to the neutral zone. I'm not sure what he's trying to say here. Poikula wins the draw. Cypus' shot blocked out by a maze of traffic out in front of the net. Mason Kruger, after blocking the shot, carries back into the Wildcat zone and takes a big hip check from Dom Cypus. Cypus and Litviak, the two Eastern Europeans, playing the body pretty harsh tonight. Garrett Van Wy collides with Mason Kruger in the neutral zone, and we get a penalty upcoming, I believe, against Corpus. Stephen Rouillard didn't even know which ice ray he was pointing to. All he knew was that it was a trip, and it will be against Mason Kruger for tripping Garrett Van Wy. Looked like a pretty incidental collision there. But Rouillard has made the call, and it is tripping against Mason Kruger. So the Wildcats go back to their second power play of tonight. They're 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Regardless, you can never overlook what the Wildcats power play has done this season. Gilraith works it from the umbrella to Lazarus in the left circle. Now a centering pass and a quick shot by Poikula is swallowed at the goal mouth. Deep in his net was McKay. Now Poikula taking some punches. He's out right in the most dangerous area of the ice, and Poikula one-timed it pretty quickly there, and McKay smothered it up, surrendered no rebound. Wildcats power play, third best in the entire league at a 23.08% conversion rate. Nearly as strong as it was last year at 25 even, was the best in the entire league last season. Tough to live up to that, and they nearly have. Albrecht goes down. Lexi Poikula pushes it around the end boards. Litviak has it behind the IceRays net, gives it to Lazarus at the left circle. Lazarus has to turn. He had Crabtree right in his kitchen. Now Gilraith delivers a long drive, fluttered away from the glove of McKay and in behind the net. Pass comes all the way through, eludes Poikula, goes to Gilraith, who gave it to Poikula. Lazarus wants the pass, he gets it. One times it stopped by McKay, who dove at it. Got it out with his glove. A phenomenal save by Dryden McKay. Puck kept alive for the moment, but it bounces back out to center. Gilraith's going to have to play it there. Not even half the power play has expired here, but Crabtree on the intercept shoots, and he scores. That's two shorthanded goals for the IceRays tonight. And the Wildcats can't believe it. Two shorthanded goals in one game. Not the power play the Cats have been looking for. Long shot from Baum, redirected wide of the net. Jaeger pinning the body up to Brendan Miller. Meekoff will clear it down the length of the ice. Kappelmaster is there, and he will sauce it back out to the neutral zone as Paisan backhands it into the opposite corner. Colton Meekoff picks it up. Again, the puck's been cleared. Jeff Baum collects it behind his own net. 15 seconds remain on their power play, and they're probably going to want to kill it off themselves the way it's been tonight. Jaeger has it. He's tripped up. No penalty against Meekoff, and he's going to clear. Regan Kavanaugh in after it. Beats out Trent Dillinger to the puck. Drake Lindsay has it now. Mason Kruger along the half boards, battling against Nick Rosa. Kruger spun away from Rosa, then gets it deep. Rourke Russell. 5 minutes have gone by. It's 2-0 Corpus Christi, courtesy of two shorthanded goals. First scored by Brendan Miller, and then most recently by Brady Crabtree just a minute ago. And Lindsay picks up the puck after Regan Kavanaugh had it knocked away from him, and a penalty will be called against Wichita Falls now. That'll be a clear trip. Couldn't tell who it was, if it was Van Wy, I think it was. And he's going to be escorted now to the Wildcats sin bin. I don't think there's much doubt the Cats are going to be restructuring their power play, either by implementing a new system or new personnel, what have you, but change has to be made after not only have they struggled to score on the man advantage, but they've given up goals. Of late, so we'll see what changes are made, if any, from this game to the next. Their penalty kill has been a success tonight, 1 for 1, trying to become 2 for 2 here. 18-15 the shots in favor of the Cats, but 2-0 in the score where it counts in favor of the Rays. Meekoff. Drop pass for Mason Kruger. Wheels through center and dumps it into a vacant corner. Gilraith goes in to get it behind his own net. Jostling for it with Kruger. It's given back to a very open right point. Meekoff with tons of time. Nathan Breyer swings it back to Brendan Miller with a shorthanded goal tonight. Meekoff, point-to-point for Kircher, left side. Down low to the goal line. Kruger shoots and scores! Power play goal for Mason Kruger, and it's 3-0 Corpus. And Kapellmaster's night is over. Julian Syme is in, Kapellmaster is out, and the second winningest goaltender in the North American Hockey League has just been put on the bench. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this, folks. The Wildcats are not playing with purpose right now. One of these teams clearly is, one clearly is not, and the scoreboard is reflective 100%. Andy McGlynn squeezes past Dementis Cypus, then had a blowout in the attacking zone. A Baker's dozen minutes remain in period 2. It's a 3-0 game in favor of Corpus Christi. All 3 goals tonight being scored on special teams. 2 shorthanded, 1 on a power play. It's been a disastrous night for both the man advantage and the disadvantage for Wichita Falls this evening. Johnny Lazarus wheels past Toby Kircher, dips the shoulder there on Spillum, and then centers. Picked off before it got to Dalton. The Rays on the counterattack could have a 3-on-2. Brendan Miller has the puck on his stick, dumps it through Dalton, and on goal, Syme covers it up. Julian Syme hasn't played for a few weeks. He had some injury problems. He was seen as more of an emergency backup type player. So much so that Hunter Smith, an affiliate goaltender, was called up from Dallas, from HC Dallas, to fill in. It looks like we're going to our second period media timeout. 12:43 left in period 2, 3-0 Corpus. Unfortunately for the Cats, Julian Syme is healthy and ready to go now. We'll see if inserting him into the lineup here will ignite a spark into the team, because they desperately need one right now. The only silver lining, folks, to the situation right now, the Odessa Jackalopes are up 1-0 late in period 2 over the Lone Star Brahmas. Jake Levin, the lone goal scorer in that game. The Brahmas have 19 shots on goal, which have all been denied by Dean Schatzer. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that game and fill you in as it unfolds. The IceRays still with some time here on this power play here, or check that, it looks like it's just expired. A left point shot swallowed up by Julian Syme from Meekoff. 5 skaters aside, 12:40 to go in period 2. Andre Paisan collects the puck in the corner, advances it for Jake Dalton. Dalton throws one the width of the ice. Brad Power colliding there with Russell. He is down in the neutral zone. Caught a bit flat-footed now, a little bit out of position. He's calling for it now on the counterattack. leads the rush the other way, and he drops it off for Bolio right side. Bolio goes across for Dalton, kicks it to his stick, and he shoots, and it goes high and bounces off a couple of bodies. Karams right to Brad Power, who sets up Nathan Breyer down the right side. Breyer will backhand one towards the goal. Syme made a stick save, and it hobbles up in the air and bounces there. Goodsir will clear it out to Jake Dalton. Dalton has a 3-on-2 late at the shift. Right wing side, sets up Paisan in the slot. His shot paddled away by McKay, and he remains perfect, 19 of 19 on the night. Goodsir chopping at it. Bolio gave it across. Litviak hammers it. Didn't get all of it. Rolls harmlessly behind the IceRays net. Now Bevilacqua will pivot away from him. Litviak checked his stick from a good back-checking play. He has it now on his tape. Takes a bit of a check there from Lilyav. Still has some balance on his skates left, and he will advance it in deep beyond the IceRays goal line. Spillum wraps it around the boards. Gilraith pinches and jabs at it. Good backhand spin around pass, a bit too far for Crabtree, however. Hines guns him and the puck down. Advances it a bit errantly. He didn't know where his forward was going there. Dillinger collides with Bevilacqua. Puck kept alive right point in the Cat zone by Lindsay. Chopped away from him and back out to center. Long shot from nearly 100 feet. Goes over the goal and off the glass. Taken by Noah Gilraith behind his net. Matt Hines with his head up looks to make an outlet pass. Trent Dillinger takes a high stick, and this will be a penalty. Regan Cavanaugh, the culprit of that last play, got his stick up high on Trent Dillinger's face. So on both Wildcats power plays tonight, there have been goals, but not what you're thinking. They have not been Wildcat goals. They've been IceRays goals. 2 short-handed goals. Hopefully the third time will be the charm here tonight. The Cats can either A, stop the Rays from scoring one, or B, score one themselves. Poikel will take the draw to the left of Dryden McKay, looking to make his 20th straight stop. Puck blasted around the half boards. Gilraith with a good keep at the right point, but it's eventually lofted back down by Tucker Bender. Johnny Lazarus now for Noah Gilraith. Lazarus surveys, splits the ice with a good pass for Litviak, who's onside, gave it across, hoping for Poikula, who was wrapped up by Miller. Puck stays in the zone. Lazarus has it, swoops into the high slot, fakes a pass to Gilraith, takes it in, shoots, redirected wide off a skate. Albrecht hustles after it, goes to get it in behind the IceRays net. Tucker Bender around the boards for Carter Johnson, failed to clear it. Excellent keep by Gilraith. After a small pinch there, it paid off. Johnny Lazarus to Austin Albrecht now. Albrecht will dish it back. Gilraith holds, slaps it to Lazarus. Lazarus across the ice, trying to get it to Poikula. Good defensive stick by Carter Johnson. Gilraith, Poikula, top of the left circle to the goal line now. Albrecht sends it to the middle. Poikula's shot, blocker saved by McKay. Albrecht has it once more, got it to Poikula again. Far half board, sends it into the middle for Litviak, who turned it in behind the IceRays net. Lazarus will backhand it to the right point. Gilraith winds, fakes Poikula, left circle once more, fires, goes wide, far side, and out the other end. Gilraith runs over to keep the puck alive. He does. Lazarus gave it across the crease there. Some very tired skaters on the ice for both squads, especially Corpus. Alexei Poikula has the puck, sends it into the slot, jabbed away there by Carter Johnson. It barely hobbles over the blue line. Johnson goes to the bench for a line change. Brendan Miller does as well. As a centering attempt intended for Bolio was sticked away and up over the net. Bolio has the puck with 19 to go on his power play. Plays it behind the Corpus net. Goodsir trickles it along the end boards. Paisan meets up with it there. Gives it to Eric Yeager, setting up shot behind the Rays net. Bolio now, back to the point. It's Jeff Baum manning the point. He failed to keep it in. Jabbed away from him by Brad Lilyav, who's got a 2-on-1 with prior to the goal. Lilyav in, shoots, blocker saved by Syme. And he prevented that third consecutive shorthanded goal that the fans here wanted from Corpus Christi. Good blocker stop by Julian Syme. Jeff Baum gives it ahead to the left wing for Eric Yeager. Austin Bolio has it. The Cats power play dropping to 0 for 3 on the night. Bolio the shot blocked by Colton Meekoff, who clears it down the length. Not far enough for icing as Rourke Russell catches up with it. 8.5 to go in period 2. It's a 3-0 hockey game in favor of Corpus Christi. And Garrett Van Wy, despite out hustling the opponent, Colton Meekoff to the puck, will be called for an icing. Nick Rosa taking a draw to the left of his goaltender now, Julian Sign. And I'm not sure if the pulling of Justin Kappelmaster was more of a decision based on his performance or just in order to spark the team. I'm leaning more towards the latter right now. Typically in situations like this, when the score becomes 3-0, it is a team sport, and it's never really fair to put the blame squarely on one person's shoulders. It clearly has not been Kappelmaster's best night. He is not the reason the Cats are down 3-0. Stating Julian Simon into the lineup. We'll see what kind of effect that has had. The Cats have not surrendered a goal since. They also have not scored one. 3-0 Rays. We're now more than halfway through regulation time. Burnett gives it wing to the left side. Jumped away from Garrett Van Wy. Lichtenvoort dumps it in. Goes around the end boards. Rourke Russell couldn't get to it in time. Regan Cavanaugh jabs it loose. Kruger ends up with it, and then Dom Sipus went in for the hit and just missed him. Probably did more damage to himself after that. His shoulder went first into the end boards as Kruger intercepts the clearing attempt, taken down by Sipus. Didn't have it in his wheelhouse. Rosa helped him out, managed to clear it. Regan Cavanaugh, the other number 24, bats it down. The Cats get it back out to neutral ice. Lichtenvoort will dump it back in. Simon behind his net. Couldn't stop the puck. Had some good speed on it. Brad Power puts it in behind once more. Drake Lindsay had a blowout. He stopped on a dime. And a good defensive stick by Dom Sipus prevented a clean shot from Toby Kircher, and the IceRays have to reset in their own end. 6:48 to go in period 2. 3-0 Corpus. 2 shorthanded goals and a power play goal. For the first 34 minutes of this game. Brendan Miller advances the puck. Not quite far enough there for Brad Power. As a result, it went off Matt Hines' stick. Gilraith will rescue it and give it across the ice now for Eric Yeager. Yeager gains the blue line with some numbers. He fires off the glove of the goaltender McKay. Now 20 for 20 on the night. Gilraith battling hard for it. His efforts have helped to keep the puck alive as Trent Dillinger goes in and fights for possession now, but Bender ends up with a puck. Bender to the right wing. Miller gets the pass. A little bit too hot to handle there as it jumped off his stick and goes down the length past the Wildcats goal line. Goodsir scoops it up. Paisan delivers ahead. Nice pass off the sideboards for Austin Beaulieu, who waits for some teammates to join him into the offensive zone. Jake Dalton is one of them. He gets the pass and shoots. Blocked by his own player out in front. Goodsir got it to Beaulieu, who missed the net high with a shot. Beaulieu has it again. Puts it in behind for Paisan, who slammed into the glass by Mike Bevilacqua. Beaulieu picks it up, sets up a one-time shot from Jeff Baum, which goes wide. Looks like there could be some line juggling going on right now. We see Jake Dalton and Jeff Baum on the ice together as defensive partners. Baum sets up Dalton now, right point, gave it across. Beaulieu has it. Baum unloads with a one-time drive from the high slot. Missed the net well wide, and the puck is bounced back out to center. Jeff Baum having to reconvene with his squad there. 5 minutes remain in the second period as Baum takes a shot, save, rebound. Breyer poked it away from Albrecht. Dalton's drive missed just wide of the near post. Lazarus gives it back to Dalton. He gave it across now, left point for Baum. Long shot, tipped, and they score! Finally, the Cats have come through. Nick Rosa redirected the shot, taken by Jeff Baum. What a beautiful tip made by Nick Rosa. To get his 15th goal of the season, the Wildcats' first of this hockey game, and it's now 3-1. So with 4 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in period 2, this has turned into a hockey game, not quite so one-sided anymore when you look at the scoreboard. But the Cats still have a mountain to climb and lots of work to do as Lazarus gets the pass from Albrecht, and his shot swallowed easily and stopped by McKay as it bounces back out to Kruger, who will carry it down the left wing side into the Cat zone and fires, and Syme made the stop. And we get some pushing and shoving now in the crease behind Julian Syme. The second period out in Odessa has come to an end, and the Jackalopes lead the Brahmas by a score of 1-0 through 2 periods. The Cats, of course, hoping the Jacks can hang on to that lead. The IceRays hoping for just the opposite. As far as this game is concerned, 3-1 at Corpus Christi through nearly 2 full periods. There's about 4.5 minutes remaining in this one. And if the Wildcats are going to come back and score 2 goals at least against a very stingy IceRays defense and an even stingier goaltender in Dryden McKay, they've got their work cut out for them. Van Wy takes the pass on the left wing side, advances it just over the Corpus Christi blue line. Mike Bevilacqua is there to meet the puck, and he's also met by Van Wy. Kircher nearly took a high stick there by Alexei Poikla, just missed him. 5-man scrum for possession ensues in the left corner in the IceRays zone. 3-2 Corpus, and because of the extra man, they ended up with the puck. Lindsay advanced it a little bit too far for Regan Cavanaugh. Rourke Russell takes a big collision there by Cavanaugh in the left corner in the Cat zone. Now Burnett has it. Gives a high saucer pass the width of the ice for Van Wy on his off wing, taking a shot, and McKay just got a piece of it as it went wide. Poikla loses his stick behind the Rays net. Meekoff tries to go around the boards with it. Burnett hugging the wall. Eventually it's taken by Mason Kruger, who crisscrosses there with Brendan Miller. Kruger's pass not far enough for Miller. Baum takes down Kruger. Now here comes Sipus into the zone and fires, and it went off an IceRays stick and out of play. Wildcats are actually out-shooting the IceRays in this game, which is hard to believe the way the game has gone. It's not been about quality. Excuse me, it's not been about quantity. It's been about quality in this game. The Wildcats have, I can't even count how many times they've already missed the net with some good, hard shots that have gone just wide. Because of that, they trail 3-1. Their shooters overall this season have had some of the best. As a team, they've got one of the best shooting accuracy percentages in the entire league. Going into this weekend series, imagine it's been dampered quite a bit, as Yeager takes a pass from Sipus. Now for Nikita Litviak. Jeff Baum tripped up, and a penalty forthcoming against Corpus Christi, so another power play against the Wildcats coming up here. Nikita Litviak tried to center, sticked away by McKay. Litviak battling hard for it. 6 attackers on the ice for the Wildcats now with the extra skater. Dom Sipus gave it to Jeff Baum. He unloads from there, and McKay smothered it up. 2:27 remain in this period. The Wildcats will go back to the man advantage. Not only have they not converted on the power play, but they've given up 2 shorthanded goals. Hopefully this one will be different. The last power play they had, they managed to keep the puck out of their own net, which is a start. And now it's a matter of putting one into the opposing net as Cody Lichtenvoort heads off the ice. His trip against, I believe it was Nikita Litviak, who is on the ice now. He's joined by Johnny Lazarus, Alexei Poikla, Austin Albrecht, and Noah Gilraith, who will be manning the point position, presumably on this umbrella power play. I doubt they would change up the man advantage or the structure of the power play mid-game like this. And we may see a different look next Thursday night at the KYC. Gilraith skates it behind his own net. Dishes off to the right side for Johnny Lazarus. He will cut through center, gain the blue line smoothly. He even got Kruger to go down. Centers for Poikla, whose bid just went off the shoulder of Dryden McKay. Albrecht scoops it up, turns one towards the net, swallowed again by Dryden McKay, who is certainly on his game tonight. 25 of 26. Dryden McKay is seeing these shots extremely well, exceptionally well. The only goal that's been scored against him came off a deflection. He was a very highly touted goaltender when he was traded to Corpus Christi in the offseason from the Springfield Junior Blues. Goodser with a pretty clean face-off win. Rattles around a couple of bodies, and Jeff Baum gets it in deep. Eric Yeager stymied there. Paisan collects the puck. Paisan gave it across nicely for Beaulieu. Won't go to Baum. Sends it into the slot. Paisan had it bounce off of his stick. Paisan gives it to Yeager now in behind the IceRays net. Collected first by Meekoff, and he will clear it on his backhand down the length of the ice with 90 seconds remaining in this second period. And the score 3-1 Corpus. 26-20 the shots in favor of the Cats, trying to get a few more before this period ends. They've got a minute to work the remainder of this Jim Arnold's Collision power play. Beaulieu squeezes past a couple of Rays, gains the line, and drops it off for some help. It's Baum, his shot, stopped by McKay. And Bevilacqua tries to clear. Good keep at the left point by Baum. Advances a bit too far for Beaulieu. Baum is hauled down. Puck is not cleared beyond the red line, and it's fired back into Corpus Christi territory. Not for long. Meekoff clears it beyond the outstretched stick of Jeff Baum and down the length. The last minute of play is brought to you by La Quinta Inn & Suites, the official host hotel of your Wichita Falls Wildcats, who have just iced the puck. 48.2 to go now in period 2, 3-1 Corpus. 22 seconds remain on this power play. The Wildcats are taking a defensive zone draw now. Adam Goodser will take it. Beaulieu got it to Jeff Baum. Returns it now. Beaulieu will skate it down the right wing side with 10 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Put it over the blue line for Adam Goodser, and what have we? An offside play against Wichita Falls. And the Cats coaching staff not too pleased. They weren't happy about it yesterday with the way the Wildcats entered the zone on the man advantage in particular, but really throughout the entire game. Too many forced entries, too many turnovers at the blue line, not enough dumping and chasing. The Wildcats coaching staff trying to encourage that more. Neutral zone, clean face-off win for the Cats as Hines' shot redirected wide. Now Burnett shoots right in front of the net. Puck is loose between Burnett's skates, and he's brought down to the ice by Mason Kruger. Burnett manages to work it to Van Wy, who put it in front for a shot. Van Wy, Burnett shoots, pad save made by Dryden McKay. How did that not go in the net? Van Wy had it there in behind the IceRays net. Lindsay stripped him of it. Boy, Burnett had that puck on his stick, on his backhand albeit, but with a lot of net to shoot at. And he just didn't get all of it. Burnett pretty frustrated, visibly so. Van Wy as well. McKay with a tremendous stop. And through 2 periods of play has only conceded 1 goal on 27 shots. He keeps his team up by 2. 3-1 the score after 2 periods have expired here at the ABC. 27-20 the shots in favor of Wichita Falls. But they still trail, and the IceRays, with what's going on with their spot in the standings right now, on Pack the House night and on their last regular season home game this year, you had to expect them to come out and play their very best, and I think they undoubtedly have. And not only will this be their last regular season home game, but rumor has it that they will not be able to play in this building during the postseason. There won't be any ice. I've heard 2 different rumors as to where those games would be played if they do in fact make the playoffs, in which case they will in all likelihood be playing the Wildcats. Still a very small chance they might end up playing the Brahmas. But in any case, if they do make the playoffs, I've heard they will either be playing at a rink in Houston, which is, I believe, a couple of hours from here, or they will be playing in the opposing team's rink for all of the games in that first round. But either way, this is the last time the IceRays will be playing in this building this season, and they're giving the fans here their money's worth, no question about that. The Wildcats, however, have bounced back. They now just trail by 2 off a Nick Rosa redirect, and it was a nice one. Tipped it into the far side of the net, and Dryden McKay had no chance on it. Despite a strong performance, even he couldn't stop that from going in. Julian Syme has been inserted into the game in replacement of Justin Kapelmaster. You won't see that happen very often, but it has happened tonight. Still 20 minutes remain in this hockey game, folks. 3-1 again, the score in favor of Corpus Christi. We're going to step aside as the intermission games yet to be played here at the American Bank Center. When we come back, we'll have some out-of-town scoreboard updates for you, and we'll break down this game for you. The first 40 minutes, that is, in a little greater detail as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. To those of you watching on fasthockey.com and those of you listening on YouTube, thanks for tuning in tonight. We know it has not been a very pleasant one if you're a Wildcats fan. 3-1 the score in favor of Corpus Christi. The Wildcats in some unfamiliar territory. They have not very often gone into the third period trailing their opposition. They do tonight, despite outshooting Corpus by a margin of 7, 27-20 the shots. Justin Kapelmaster has been pulled, again, something we don't see very often. In the second period intermission game, chuck a puck just like it is at the KYC. Finishing up here. Looks like they've got a clear winner out there. Julian Syme came in relief of Justin Kapelmaster and has done his job. He's 4 for 4 since coming in. About 7.5 minutes, or 6.5, I should say, into that second period, which, again, it was not a very friendly one for the Wildcats. It has not been a very strong weekend for that second period. Historically, the Cats have dominated that middle frame, and just not the case. Really, something very similar happened last season. The second period last year, really the entire campaign, the Cats were dominant. That was their favorite period. They just love to play in that middle 20 minutes, and towards the end, once guys started talking about it enough, that's when it got inside their heads, and that's when they sort of let up a little bit, played on their heels, and towards the end of the campaign last season, interestingly enough, the exact same thing happened. 18-5, the Cats were outscoring the Rays through second periods going into this hockey game. Though they did have one to stop the bleeding after 3 special teams goals were scored against them, the first 2 on the penalty kill, or on their power plays, I should say. So 2 shorthanded goals scored by Corpus to start this game, and then a power play goal scored by Mason Kruger later on, finally answered by Nick Rosa, who redirected a point shot taken from Jeff Baum, who continues to lead the Wildcats defensive corps, now with 30 points on the season, just the 10th Wildcat to cross that plateau this season, so congratulations to Jeff Baum on that, the only defenseman to rack up 30 thus far. That was at the 15-10 mark of period 2 when Nick Rosa finally came through and tipped a shot from Baum into the far side of the net. Beautiful redirect. But now the Cats still have their work cut out for them. And really towards the end, I thought they were going to get a second one there. Had a pretty strong chance of doing so. It looked like down there in the corner, Ryan Burnett ended up with the puck on his stick at the goal line and just had it on his backhand. It really kind of caught him by surprise. He tried to stuff it into the net. Didn't get all of the first attempt. When he eventually did get all of the second attempt, by that time, Dryden McKay had already slid over enough from his right to his left to make the stop. So again, McKay having a phenomenal evening. The Cats have already equaled their shot totals tonight that they had last night with 27. McKay has stopped 26. Kapelmaster stopped only 13 of 16. Again, his night is done. Julian Syme has stopped all 4 shots he has faced. Now on to some scores from around the North American Hockey League. Bad news, folks. The Lone Star Brahmas have just tied the Jackalopes at the Edgar County Coliseum. Martin Melberg came through very, very early into the third period, just 43 seconds in. So with the words of Dan Wildfong ringing in their ears, the Brahmas have answered the bell. That game is tied up 1-1, 22-18 the shots in favor of the Brahmas out in West Texas. The Wildcats, again, they either need a point in this game by taking the IceRays to overtime, or they need the Brahmas to lose, either in regulation or overtime. If one of those 2 scenarios happens, the Wildcats will be South Division champions for the first time in franchise history. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights being blown out right now on the road by the Johnstown Tomahawks. The score 6-1 late in the third period. The Aston Rebels in New Jersey, 4-3 Titans. That game has just been finalized. It is over. So the Titans with 2 points in that game. Their season is now over as well, as is the Aston Rebels. They will both be going into the Robertson Cup playoffs, of course. Being in the East Division, they were guaranteed a spot this year. But the Rebels will go in as the 1 seed. The Titans will go in as the 2 seed. Johnstown, the 3 seed. Wilkes-Barre, the 4 seed. So their brackets are already set up out of the East Division. The Janesville Jets in Springfield playing a very important matchup against the Junior Blues. It's 4-1 Janesville. Important for Springfield, I should say, not so much for Janesville, although they're still battling the Minnesota Wilderness for that number 2 spot in the Midwest Division behind the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. Springfield Junior Blues, on the other hand, battling for that 4th and final playoff spot in the Midwest Division. It's their last game of the season, their 60th game on home ice. The Junior Blues trailing 4-1 at the Nelson Center in Illinois' capital. And boy, if they lose this game in regulation, it could be incredibly painful for them to just have to sit back and watch as the Cooley Region Chill will have 3 more opportunities to rack up some wins and get some points. The Amarillo Bulls with a 2-0 edge over the Topeka Roadrunners. They were blown out last night. Looks like they're doing the blowing out tonight. Maybe not so much of a blowout, but it's a 2-0 lead on the road at the Landon Arena, the Kansas Expo Center. Jake Rosenbaum, Nicholas Santoro coming through. That game looks like it has just started its 3rd period. So both other South Division matchups quite a little bit ahead of the Wildcats game here tonight because of all the pregame festivities that went on here. Brookings Blizzard in Aberdeen taking on the Wings. 2-1 remains the score, and it has since the 1st period. Brookings Blizzard with the lead. The Minnesota Magicians in Bismarck taking on the Bobcats. That game tied at 3 apiece. Cooley Region Chill in Minnesota taking on the 2015 Robertson Cup champion Wilderness up in northern Minnesota in Cloquet. Alex Faulkner has a goal to his credit this evening, former Wildcat. Right now he's got the difference-making goal, the 3rd goal for Cooley Region that gave them the lead for the 3rd time of the night. Northwoods Credit Union Arena, so way to go, Alex Faulkner. He's got a goal tonight, a +1 rating, 2 shots on goal for Cooley Region. Still can hang on to that lead. If they do, then they're going to inch up right behind, in all likelihood, just 1 point behind Springfield tonight, barring a miraculous comeback on their part. Minot Minotauro still tied with the Austin Bruins, 1-1 through a period and a half of play up at the Mesa Arena in Minot, North Dakota. And then finally the Fairbanks Ice Dogs again playing their final game of the regular season tonight. They're hosting the Kenai River Brown Bears, who will be playing their final hockey game for the next few months. We're just about 2 minutes removed here, folks, from 3rd period hockey brought to you by American Classifieds. The Wildcats have their work cut out for them. They need at least 2 goals in this final period. What they do to go to work, they're going to have to get inside the head of Dryden McKay, who's been as sharp as ever, stopping 26 of 27. He was almost equally stellar. The 2nd star of the game last night. Some signs of life were showed there towards the end of the period. Of course, with the goal coming off a stick of Nick Rosa, who redirected it. A very well-deserved goal from Nick Rosa, I should add. Been a great addition to this Wildcats team. Has been a 200-foot player all season long. Plays very well at both ends of the ice. An extremely hard-working player, humble player. Certainly earned that goal without a doubt, going to the front of the net in the dirty areas, getting a stick on the shot from Jeff Baum and tipping it into the far side of the net and past Dryden McKay. And those are the types of goals, if the Wildcats want to tie this game, those are the types of goals they're going to have to get. Dryden McKay is going to see the shots, any types of shots from the top of the circles, from the blue line, even from within the circles or by the hash mark area. Dryden McKay, in all likelihood, will stop those. If there's not traffic, if there's not someone redirecting the shot, if there's not someone going in for rebounds and point-blank opportunities, getting inside the head of Dryden McKay, that's what the Wildcats are going to have to do to tie this game. And I think that 27 shots on goal total looks a little bit inflated, because of how many shots from the outside the Cats have taken. However, it's a whole new period for the Wildcats, a whole new 20 minutes and a whole new chance to get themselves back in this game and finally earn that very highly coveted division title. It just seemed to be eluding them over the last few weeks or so. Back on March 26th against the Topeka Roadrunners, the Cats had the chance to clinch it. They did their job and beat Topeka on home ice. However, the Brahmas won that game. No title was earned. Then again, last night they had the opportunity. Last night, they did not do their job. They fell just short in overtime. And the Brahmas won again in their game. So, tonight is their third opportunity to do so. Will the third time be the charm? They're in control of their own destiny. The Brahmas have just tied the Odessa Jackalopes in their game, but the Wildcats can't sit by and wait for the outcome of that game to come to light. They must go and push the envelope and take the win themselves, and this is their chance to do so. The third period of Wildcats hockey is brought to you by American Classifieds. It's underway as Rosa guns it down in his own zone. We'll see what new bursts of energy the Cats have after that intermission break. Cyprus's saucer pass went off of Rosa's skates and in behind the IceRays goal. Rosa jostling for it, and the puck skitters off the boards, goes off a funny partition, and it jumps down the length of the ice. Pretty odd-looking hop there. But it goes for icing against Corpus Christi. Brad Liliev skates with it now behind his own net. Cody Lichtenvoort picks it up, and he will hook it out to the neutral zone. Bolio touched it on a delayed offside. So we get another whistle stopping play. Don't forget, folks, we've got our Pack the House night, weekend, I should say, next Thursday and Friday night. Thursday, Friday night, both nights, 7:05 p.m. against these very same IceRays at the KYC. Tickets to all, or both games, I should say, are free for everybody, children and adults alike, with the sole purpose of next weekend's games being simply for the fans. Fan Appreciation Weekend, Pack the House Weekend, whatever you want to call it. Come on by the KYC. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the Wildcats are going to need all the support they can get. Strong back check from Austin Bolio. He steals the puck and advances it down the boards a little bit, but it's taken by Tucker Bender, who gives it D to D. Keenan Spillum rings it all the way down, and an icing call is made, and again, it's met with some controversy by some of the IceRays players. Dalton gets the puck right off the draw after Yeager won the face-off cleanly to him. Litviak and Russell go over to the left half boards to keep the puck alive. Power digging for it. Russell keeps it and shoots it. It was blocked by Kircher. Now Bender and Litviak battling for it. They're joined by Trent Dillinger, who's hauled down to the ice by Keenan Spillum. Litviak collects it once more in the corner. He's got Yeager at the opposite side of the goal line. Litviak dives and centers. It goes through the net mouth, and it's cleared again by Corpus Christi. Will this be far enough for icing? Yes, it will. And the Rays will not be allowed to change. Another icing for Corpus. I think undoubtedly they've got some tired skaters out there. The Wildcats, these are the times where they need to take advantage of the IceRays' minor mistakes like this. Offensive zone face-off with fresh bodies going up against not so fresh bodies. And now I believe Corpus' head coach, John Buchanan, is using his timeout in this situation after two straight icings against the Rays. He knew he had some tired troops out there. He wants to give them a rest. The Second period started out in favor of the Wildcats. They were certainly the superior team for the first couple of minutes, and then things changed pretty quickly after a shorthanded goal by Corpus and then a power play goal shortly thereafter. Looks like the third period has started off pretty similarly, though it's very early into the frame. The majority of this third period has been played on the right side of your screen, which is a good start for the Wildcats. They just need to find a way to continue that pressure and sustain pressure because, man, the Rays all weekend long have done a superb job at their own blue line, stopping entries and forcing the Wildcats to dump the puck, which they have not done enough, according to the coaches. And Dalton's long shot from the right point, pounced on by McKay. Poikula versus Breyer now to the left of McKay. Breyer wins it. Liliev scoops it up. All down to the ice, advanced it from his hips. Now it's Nathan Breyer colliding with Rourke Russell, who squeezed him off the play. Poikula collects it behind his own net. Rourke Russell will shoot it all the way down, a bit too far for Ryan Burnett. No icing, courtesy of Ryan Burnett's speed, as then he's hauled down by Mike Bevilacqua. D-to-D for Dalton. Dalton off the skate of Lazarus, or Albrecht rather. All four lines remain intact. There has not really been any line jumbling, despite some of the struggles the Wildcats have had at generating high-quality scoring chances really this entire series. They've been few and far between, despite the high amounts of shots. Not very many of them have been A-plus opportunities. Albrecht at the goal line had his stick checked there by Dryden McKay. He really likes to use that poke check to his advantage. Dryden McKay, a pretty aggressive goaltender, likes to jab at the puck if he has the opportunity to use his stick and poke it away before a shot can even be taken. He'll do it. Some folks listening may remember last night Johnny Lazarus, his breakaway during the 3-on-3 overtime. Really had nobody to beat but Dryden McKay, but McKay beat him with the diving poke check. Puck is lifted now out to center for Stevie Bryant of Corpus Christi, who will guide a saucer pass across from Meekoff, whose shot went just about as wide as it possibly could have. Stevie Bryant met by Sipus along the half boards. Adam Goodsir battling with Nathan Breyer. Puck shot wide of the net, across the ice, and now Paisan picks it up and has a look. Met by Bevilacqua at the red line, but he gained the line and dumped it deep. Bolio in pursuit of it. Andy McGlynn carries down the left wing against Noah Gilraith, pushes it past him and in behind the Wildcats net. Julian Syme lets it be there. Hines has it. Outlets it ahead for Nikita Litviak. Litviak sends Eric Yeager on his way. Yeager with a long shot, blocked by tons of players out in front. Lichtenvoort, I believe, got his stick on it and then clears down the ice. This will not be an icing call against Corpus Christi as Syme drops it off there. Syme has stopped all 5 shots he has faced since coming in relief of Justin Kappelmaster. Litviak with a good toe drag move, shoots it wide of the net. You got to give the Cats credit after the pulling of Justin Kappelmaster. It looks like they have turned the game for the most part in their favor. Have not seen a whole lot of action against Julian Syme, as now Kruger fires it off the back of the net, then turns and shoots one from a sharp angle. Syme made the stop. Kruger wheels his way into the high slot, then gives it across for Meekoff, whose drive chest saved by Syme, and he hangs on. It was Lichtenvoort who unloaded from there, and Syme made the stop. Moving to 7 for 7 on the night.
It's time for the Whataburger Minute of Madness. The answers is scattered from
And now a brief break for the Whataburger Minute of Madness. Both coaches will be going over strategies with their teams. the Odessa Jackalopes and the Lone Star Brahmas very well could be headed to extra time. That score is still 1-1 with 5 minutes remaining in period 3. This draw will take place to the right of Julian Syme between Poikila and Kruger. Kruger wins it. Bender slaps it in. Poikila behind the Wildcats net trying to jostle it out of the Wildcats zone. He gets a second chance to do so, and he does this time. Burnett will fly it across. Van Wy pushed it ahead for himself down his off wing. Cuts in behind the IceRays net, then centers, and it was intercepted by Kruger. He will drive it back the other direction. Russell in pursuit of it. Rourke Russell comes out in front of his own goal, and will leave it off for Jake Dalton now behind his own net. He works his way out ahead and gives it to the right wing. Jumps away from Ryan Burnett, who pursues it now. Albrecht sets up shop in front of the goal as Russell unloads from the left point. It was blocked by Crabtree. Poikila gives it back to Russell, takes a second shot, went off of Burnett out in front. Now it hobbles between the skates of Keenan Spillum. Poikila collects it in the corner. Couldn't backhand it to the point for Rourke Russell. Crabtree interfering with him as Poikila will regain the blue line. Another delayed offside. He didn't have a whole lot of room to work with. He'll just reset. Dom Sipus as Poikila is replaced by Nick Rose on the ice. Dalton advances it for Lazarus down the right wing. Lazarus into the high slot for Rosa. Went between his skates and his stick. Spillum hauled down. A penalty upcoming against Rosa. Lichtenvoort, who was brought down by Nick Rosa, so another penalty against the Cats, and the IceRays will go back to the power play, already leading 3-1. Lichtenvoort advances it across the line for Miller, who couldn't stick handle past Jeff Baum. So he touches up, but the Wildcats will go back to the PK once more. Nearly 6,000 in attendance here tonight on Pack the House night in Corpus Christi. Hopefully the Wildcats can get similar numbers at the KYC on Thursday and Friday night. Both games are free once again. Call the Wildcats box office or the Wildcats office to order your tickets. If your group is more than 6, call the Wildcats office. Get your spots. Expecting a pretty large crowd, so don't wait till the last minute.
6:39 into the third period.
Baum outlets a pass to the right side for Paisan, who crisscrosses with Goodsir with a shot. Chest save McKay. This is just the IceRays' third power play of the night. They scored on their last one. Mason Kruger with a good turnaround snipe from the left circle, put it high on the near side of the goal and past Kappelmaster, which was the goal that caused Kappelmaster to be replaced by Julian Syme. Offensive zone draw on this penalty kill, won by Corpus, however. Now Meekoff will start things from in behind his own net. He'll work it out himself. Meekoff's a big boy, 6'1", 210 pounds. That's what he's listed as. He probably looks even bigger than that. He's got it right point, slides that across. That's Kircher left point. Now to the goal line, Kruger back to Meekoff high slot near the sit-go logo. Top of the ring, now he gives it back. Breyer, Meekoff, Kircher, winds, fakes, Kruger. Pivots away from Matt Hines. Now he's met by Goodsir, but he manages to get it back to the left point. Kircher fans on the pass, taken by Andre Paisan, who will just slap it down the ice. Fresh slate of players for Corpus Christi and for Wichita Falls. Lichtenvoort will drop the pass off. Regan Cavanaugh dumped it to himself. beats out everyone in the race for possession of the puck, and behind the Wildcats net now Dalton with an opportunity to clear. Drake Lindsay stopping him from doing so. Beaulieu has to spin away from Lindsay, and he wastes no time clearing as McKay taps it in behind the IceRays net. Picked off by the forecheck of Austin Albrecht. All of his teammates were really behind the Corpus blue line, so he didn't have a whole lot of help, but he managed to kill some time with that forecheck. Only 8 seconds remaining on the penalty to Nick Rosa. Lindsay with a drive, goes high and off the glass from center ice. Beaulieu picks off the puck off of the carom. Now Kavanaugh slaps it off the pads of Syme. Taken by Sipus. Rosa's out of the box. 5 skaters aside. Sipus' pass a bit too far for Rosa. The Wildcats had numbers. And now we get a whistle, and not sure what the cause is for this. Stephen Rouillard now signaling to the timekeeper's box to open the Corpus Christi sin bin. Could be an illegal line change, perhaps. I believe that is the call. Too many men on the ice. So Brad Power is going to skate to the IceRays penalty box, and the Wildcats back to the power play, which is 0 for 4 tonight. Has led up a couple of shorthanded goals to Corpus Christi. Rays win the defensive zone draw pretty cleanly, and Bender will clear it down the ice. 11 minutes remain in period 3. It's 3-1 Corpus. Noah Gilroy dishes to the right wing. It's Johnny Lazarus there. Gets past the defense and sets up Poikla on the left wing, and his shot, he didn't get a whole lot on it. McKay made the stop, and that's his 29th save of this hockey game. Dryden McKay is 29 of 30. Julian Syme 8 for 8 since coming in relief. Biak pinned up there by Keenan Spillum to the half boards. Poikla sets up Gilroy, high slot, fires, goes off the crossbar, bounces, and they score off the carom. I think it went off the glass, and I'm not sure who that is down there. I believe that's Austin Albrecht who tapped it into the net, and the Wildcats have brought this game to within 1. That is a tough shot for Austin Albrecht. That is not as easy as it looks. Pretty sharp, pretty severe angle from where he scored that goal. Power play goal for the Wildcats, their first of the night. Finally, the man advantage comes through, and it's a 3-2 hockey game. And just like that, the IceRays a little bit nervous here. You can start to feel some concern in this building. Building that's been nothing but raucous all night long. Now quiet. Block with a long shot, tipped, and they score. Didn't take long for them to respond. Stevie Bryant got his stick on the shot taken from Bevilacqua. Redirected into the high corner of the net, past the glove side of Julian Syme, and it's 4-2. Boy, 2 goals within seconds of each other, and that's an offside against the Wildcats as Yeager carried it in a bit too late. And just like that, it's 4-2. The Wildcats finally managed to bring it back to within 1, and now they're facing a 2-goal deficit once again, and you can only hope that doesn't take the wind out of their sails. So difficult when trying to mount a comeback when you finally get that goal that brings you within 1.
9:21 into the third period.
And then you just see it crumble apart, all your work that you've put in over the last period and a half or so. You're right back to a 2-goal deficit, and that's just deflating.
The second assist to number 25.
We'll see how the Wildcats respond to this adversity.
Into the third period.
Crowd pretty fired up here once again right after that.
Number 18, Stevie Bryant.
19 seconds. That's how long it took for Steve Bryant to answer Austin Albrecht's power play goal. 19 seconds. Defensive zone draw taking place to the right of Julian Syme. Bevilacqua carries behind the Wildcats net. That's Kruger rather. Lindsay is run into there along the corner wall. Lindsay centers there for Kruger, who's in too tight to make any kind of shot. Gets it to Regan Kavanaugh on the half boards. Keenan Spillum swings it to Bevilacqua right point. Guided in around the half wall again. Poikala picks it off, and he will skate it back the other direction. Alexi gains the blue line, gives it to Litviak, returns it for Poikala, who shoots, and a big stop is made by Dryden McKay. Probably his best save of this period. Litviak delivers a pretty good check there along the half boards against Kavanaugh. Syme behind his net, drops it to Gilraith. Why advancing it for Rosa. His pocket was picked by Brady Crabtree, who has a goal tonight. Rosa sidesteps a check there from Nathan Breyer and then dumps it deep. 8:42 to go in period 3. Big check delivered by Ryan Burnett behind the IceRays net, and a penalty will be called. He took down Tucker Bender, and the referee Stephen Rouillard is calling that, I believe, boarding or a check from behind. So Ryan Burnett's going to have a seat. The Cats go back to the penalty kill here. 2 for 3 tonight on the Parkway Grill penalty kill. Ryan Burnett will be serving this penalty, and now you see what happened there. And that is a weak call, folks. Burnett didn't touch him. He lost his balance and went head first into the end boards. And right there, maybe that should be a penalty. Shoving Ryan Burnett when he didn't do anything. But no, the penalty will be against Ryan Burnett. Another questionable call, and the Cats will be shorthanded again. Rouillard skates over to John LaFontaine, who again wants an explanation, and I can't blame him. And you can see, folks, not very often do you see John LaFontaine arguing excessively with officials. And he clearly did not like that call, and he's giving Stephen Rouillard, the referee tonight, a piece of his mind. The two of them, it looks like having a pretty heated discussion down there. The IceRays have 2 shorthanded goals in this game. We'll see if the Wildcats can get one. 8:40 remain in period 3. The Cats trailing the Rays by a score of 4-2. And they've got one of their quickest players in the penalty box. We'll see what they can do here on this Parkway Grill penalty kill. Kircher's shot right off the draw, blocked by a ton of traffic out in front. Hines the other way on a 3-on-2. Lazarus right side has to slam on the brakes. He had some IceRays right in front of him. Hines gets it with time. He shoots. Blocker save by McKay, who was square to that shot. Matt Hines really unloaded. He can certainly shoot the puck, and could have had his first goal in 14 games. McKay with a pretty good blocker save on that shot. Colton Meekoff, meanwhile, gains the red line and dumps it in. Julian Syme will play it. Gilraith wraps it around his end boards, comes all the way back to the right side. Colton Meekoff at the point will advance it down low. Lazarus intercepting, sends Garrett Van Wy on his way on a one-on-one against Toby. Kircher takes it in behind and shoots, and he missed just wide. Goes through the goal mouth. Pretty good recognition there by Garrett Van Wy. going 1 against Toby Kircher, who is not a defenseman. Garrett Van Wy eating up all kinds of time here, and he was tripped. No penalty, and here come the Rays, and it's an offside call. And it looked like a pretty clear trip to me, and again, no call. Regardless of the no call, you got to commend Garrett Van Wy for a pretty strong shift, killing that penalty. Not only generating a scoring chance, but for killing off quite a bit of power play time for the Rays. Power is met by Austin Albrecht along the sideboards. Rourke Russell will slap it in. Bounces on goal. Pad save McKay from 100 feet out. Wildcats have clearly been the superior team in this period. The IceRays' only goal in the frame came off of a redirect. Really, their only high-quality scoring chance, I would say. The Cats still trail by 2. 7 minutes remain. Ryan Burnett's penalty is 20 seconds from concluding. Stymies the IceRays advance in the neutral zone. Austin Bolio jumps in. McGlynn gets it past him. Cypus closes him off into the half boards. McGlynn still on his skates. Dumps it in behind the Wildcats net. 3 of them are there to play it against Danny McGlynn, who's relentlessly pursuing that puck. Jeff Baum emerging with it now. He will skate it through the neutral zone. Baum gets it in behind the IceRays net for Ryan Burnett, who was twisted all out of sorts there. Goodsir has to corral it in neutral ice. Now it's Lindsay. Pass intended for Kircher, intercepted and corralled by Burnett. Burnett for Noah Gilraith. Gilraith stops and circles with it in his own zone. Now it's Jeff Baum. 6:08 to go in period 3. 33-25 the shots in favor of the Cats. 4-2 the score in favor of the Rays. Bolio with a shot from a pretty tight angle there. Bottom of the right circle was stopped by McKay. Punch behind the net. Hines pinching down the half boards. Bolio jimmies it loose. Yeager's got it and lost a handle on it. And we'll work it back in deep once more. Gilraith behind the IceRays goal. Tried to get it around the boards for Hines. Goes all the way back to Syme. Syme banks it back out to center. Crabtree will loft it back in with 5.5 remaining, and the Cats trailing by 2. Gilraith has it behind his own net. Advances it slowly but surely towards Nikita Litviak. 2 of them play catch a little bit in their own zone. Now Litviak outlets it to the right wing for Yeager. And the future Air Force cadet couldn't advance it past the red line. Syme plays it behind his goal again. Dalton with a good lead pass ahead for Litviak. Litviak gets past Power, but he couldn't get past Meekhoff. Litviak corrals it again, sends it towards the goal, and it's gloved and held by McKay. Five minutes remain. It's a 2-goal deficit. It'll be interesting to see when Julian Syme heads to the bench for a 6th attacker, if he does at all. The Brahmas and Jackalopes game is in overtime, folks, nearing the end of the overtime frame, so that will likely go to a shootout if nothing happens in the next minute 15 in 3-on-3 out in Odessa. Brad Liliev dips the shoulder and shoots, and it's fought off by the side of the net, it looked like. Not sure if Syme got a piece of it or not. Bolio in the neutral zone, ditches for Albrecht left wing, shoots, and it's smothered up again by Dryden McKay. 32 of 34 tonight. The native of Downers Grove, Illinois. And the Wildcats could very well be finding out here any second whether they have clinched the South Division title. Shootout has just commenced in Odessa. So we'll be sure to keep you updated as that shootout progresses. The Brahmas still fighting to every last breath to be crowned kings of the South Division. Against all odds. Dom Cypus backpedaling in his own zone. We'll give it across for Alexei Poikula. 4:20 remaining in the third period. The Cats trailing 4-2. Burnett ahead Garrett Van Wy chipped it further past Keenan Spillum. Gets around Spillum, then spins. Couldn't center there. Ends up going behind his own net, or the opposing net for Ryan Burnett, who gave it off to the right point for Baum. Long shot goes high and wide, glove side of McKay. Well, Sipus pinches down the boards, gives it to Van Wy. Poikla jars it loose. Dom Sipus' shot off target. Baum goes over to play it along the half boards, chips it deep, and a penalty will be called here. Dom Sipus is down. Dom Sipus is down, and Andre Paisan, or Garrett Van Wy is calling for the trainer, Brian Deathridge. That does not look good for him. Dom Sipus was just laid out. I didn't quite see the hit. Perhaps they'll show it on the replay here. But a penalty will be called against Corpus. Mike Bevilacqua was having a seat. Not showing this on the Jumbotron replay here, folks. Corpus's trainer is out there as well. Sipus is back on his skates as he gets a round of applause from the American Bank Center crowd. And he is aided off the ice here by the two trainers. And this will not be an extended power play, just a 2-minute man advantage for Wichita Falls. And Demetrius Sipus does not look good down there, folks. Brian Deathridge takes him down the tunnel. He's going to have a close look at him. 3:48 remain in this third period. 4-2 the score in favor of Corpus Christi. The Wildcats have another chance on the power play. They converted on their last chance. It'll be interesting, very interesting to see now how long Syme remains in the net already with an extra attacker. We'll see if the Cats decide to go 6-on-4 as Bolio collects the puck after it was passed to him point to point from Noah Gilraith. Now Paisan gives it around the corner boards. Shoveled out by Liliev, kept in by Gilraith. Given to Goodser, top of the right circle, fires, goes wide at the far side. Bolio dishes it back. Gilraith holds, fakes the slap shot. And then he was tripped up by Nathan Breyer at the blue line, and the puck has crossed the line and back out to center. Bolio couldn't give it over the line. He was hoping to get it to Paisan. It was read beautifully by Brad Liliev, who dumps it in deep after making a fine defensive play. Noah Gilraith now behind his own net, gives it out to the right wing. It's Johnny Lazarus. Good sidestep against Drake Lindsay. Tips the shoulder there on Meekoff, takes it behind the net. Lazarus surveys, dishes back to the point for Baum. Long shot blocked by Lindsay. Flutters high in the air. Litviak has it in the corner. He's got Poikla with him behind the IceRays net. Puts it out in front, stick to side by McKay and back out to center. 2:47 to go in the third period. 4-2 Corpus Christi. 56 seconds remain on the power play as Kruger just gives a vicious slash to Jeff Baum. No penalty. Albrecht shot blocked. Second chance sprawling there is McKay. Puck is chopped all the way down the ice once more. 2.5 to go in the third period. Syme is out to meet the puck. 40 seconds remain on the power play. Syme stays in his net. Jeff Baum gains the blue line. He's the only defenseman on the ice right now as he's given a pretty healthy collision along the half boards. Nick Rosa, fresh off the bench, keeps it in at the red line, and now he will skate it back into his own zone. Rosa will dish it off to the right side. Ryan Burnett backhands a pass to Jeff Baum. Baum goes the width of the ice. Garrett Van Wy slides a pass ahead for Ryan Burnett, who chips it to himself. In the corner, centers for Rosa, backhand shot, shovels it on goal, and it's stopped again by McKay. Just 9 seconds remain to the Bevilacqua penalty. We'll see Dom Sipus at the edge of the tunnel. He might be returning to this game. He may rejoin his teammates yet. We'll see. 1:56 to go in this hockey game. 9 seconds to go in the on the power play for the Wildcats here. And Julian Syme has just skated to the bench. We'll see if the Cats go with 6 attackers here. It looks like that's what they will be doing. Litviak being called off. Yeager going on. Now the Cats have 7 skaters. They look a little bit confused out there. Dillinger comes off now. 6-on-4 for the next 9 seconds. Just under 2 minutes remain in this game. Dalton failed to keep it in. As the puck's been slapped all the way down the ice, the penalty to Mike Bevilacqua is over. So we're 6 on 5. The net to your left is empty. For those of you watching on fasthockey.com, Yeager has the puck on his stick in the slot, slaps it wide of the net. Dalton tries to center. Burnett is there. Backhand shot soaked up again by McKay for his 36th save of this game. 36 of 38 for Dryden McKay. 94 seconds remain in this game. Goodsir wins the offensive zone draw, but it's picked off by Brady Crabtree, who sees a gaping 4x6 net, and he just misses it wide short side. Jeff Baum picks it up, goes behind the cage there for Gilraith. Outlet to the head to the left wing. Austin Albrecht gave it across, slapped down by Nathan Breyer on a high stick, and he will not touch it. Goodsir will. Gives it to Jeff Baum. Smart play by Nathan Breyer. He knew if he would have touched it, it would have been a whistle. And Liliev shoots the empty net and just misses from the neutral zone, but no icing because he was already over the red line. Last minute of play is brought to you by La Quinta Inn and Suites. The Wildcats trail by 2 goals. Lazarus down the left wing, sets up Bolio, who's in, who shoots, and a pad save is made by McKay. Puck cleared down the ice. Icing this time will be called. 47 seconds remain. The Wildcats with an offensive zone draw, trailing by 2. Regardless of what happens tonight, folks, I'm delighted to announce that for the first time in 13 years, the Wildcats have clinched the South Division title. The Lone Star Brahmas were defeated on the road by the Odessa Jackalopes, so the Cats will owe them a thank you letter. And Wichita Falls will be the #1 seed in the Robertson Cup playoffs in the South Division. Probably not the way they wanted to do it, but they'll take it any way they can get it. 35 seconds remain in this game meanwhile. Puck given to the right side. It's Jake Dalton who slithers it down the boards. Nick Rosa and Alexei Poikala jostling for it. Poikala couldn't get it back to Dalton. Dillinger joins the fray now against Liliev. Knocked free. Poikala gets it in the corner again. Backhands a pass towards the slot. Litviak got it off to Rosa, now in behind the net. Litviak will collect it in the corner once more. 15 to go. Dalton right point takes a long wrist shot. Blocked. Litviak slides it across to the left point. Too far for Rourke Russell. Crabtree will clear. Puck bounces back out the center and all the way down the ice. Dalton pursues it. 2 seconds and 1, and that's going to wrap this game up. For the first time this season, the IceRays have swept the Wichita Falls Wildcats. On this road trip, the Cats have taken 1 point out of a possible 4. Regardless of a disappointing series on the road, the Wildcats have clinched the South Division title for the first time in franchise history. 13 years this team has been around in existence. They have never once done that. It's been an historic season that's not quite finished yet. Again, 2 more home games, and they're not just any home games, folks. 3 games for those of you in and near Wichita Falls, even those of you parents of the players. Anyone who's interested in the team, come out to the KYC this Thursday and Friday night. And a pretty nice gesture here, the Corpus Christi IceRays skating around their rink for the last time this season, saluting the crowd. They will not be back here until September. And the players and fans alike very cognizant of that. Their players taking one last victory lap around this rink, and they're going to be missing a lot of these faces that have been showing up and supporting their Corpus Christi IceRays for quite some time. Let's get similar support next Thursday and Friday night, folks. The IceRays nearly cracked the 6,000 mark. Let's beat them to it, shall we? Nearly 6,000 fans here in attendance tonight on Pack the House night down in Corpus Christi. The Wildcats with 2 free games next Thursday and Friday night, 7:05 p.m., the start of both of those games. And they will be playing these very same IceRays, trying to get their comeuppance. They've already clinched the #1 seed in the Robertson Cup playoffs. Now it's just about eliminating these IceRays. And they will have the chance to do it in front of you, the fans, on Thursday, April 7th, and Friday, April 8th at the KYC. Call the box office at 716-5555 for tickets. If your group is larger than 6, call the Wildcats office at 716-5587 and reserve your seats. Again, the Odessa Jackalopes with a 2-1 win over the Lone Star Brahmas, which helped to clinch the South Division title for the Wildcats, and the Topeka Roadrunners fell to the Amarillo Bulls tonight out in Topeka, Kansas at the Expo Center, the Kansas Expo Center, 3-2 the final, so the Bulls earn the sweep on the road, and a consolation victory for them late in the season. As for this game, the outcome 4-2 in favor of Corpus Christi, despite the Wildcats really doing some damage on the shot clock, 39-25. Only 2 of those 39 shots managed to find twine. Dryden McKay had a spectacular night and an even more spectacular weekend. He only allowed 2 goals on both nights, which against the Wildcats, that is really saying something. Against an offense that has nearly averaged 4 goals per game, Dryden McKay has really come to play tonight, folks. And if this series has been any indication, the Wildcats are going to want to do everything they can to eliminate this team so as to not have to play a goaltender like that in the first round of the Robertson Cup playoffs, because he has just got the Wildcats' number, it seems. The scoring was opened tonight by Brendan Miller, and for a change, the team which scored first won the game. Brendan Miller scored a shorthanded goal after stick handling past Trent Dillinger and several other Wildcats on that power play, very late in the power play. Brady Crabtree would score another shorthanded goal. The first time this season the Cats have surrendered 2 shorthanded goals in one game. Mason Kruger would score another special teams goal, though it was a power play goal, which gave his team a 3-0 edge. And that was before the halfway point of regulation time. Finally, Nick Rosa came through late in period 2, 15-10 to be exact, into period 2 after tipping a Jeff Baum point shot past Dryden McKay and the glove side and into the back of the net. Early on in the third period, the Wildcats put on the pressure. It took them about 9 minutes to finally score, 9:21 to be exact. Austin Albrecht came through on the power play from a sharp angle shot in which he roofed past Dryden McKay, but just 19 seconds later, the wind was taken, in fact, out of the Wildcats' sails after Stevie Bryant redirected a point shot taken from Mike Bevilacqua. And after that, it was really all downhill for the Wildcats, who are not going to bounce back after fighting so hard to get the score back to within 1, just having their hopes dashed by another goal scored by Corpus Christi, which made it 4-2, and that is tonight's final, 4-2. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're going to wrap things up, let you be on your way, enjoy the rest of your weekend here. Alex Von Coyle with you, as always, saying we hope you enjoyed the broadcast in spite of the outcome. We hope to see you all at the KYC. We know a few parents, tons of fans are expected to be out there. Call the KYC box office now and reserve your tickets now. Do not wait till the last second. We're expecting some pretty big crowds on both nights. 7:05 p.m. again, the start time. The gates open at 6 o'clock both nights. And again, because we're expecting such heavy traffic and such heavy crowds, we do not recommend you waiting till 7 o'clock to show up. Get to the rink to avoid the traffic, to avoid the parking lot and the lines in front of the box office. Get to the rink around 6 o'clock. Get your seats, claim your spots. Avoid all the hassle of waiting. And support your Wildcats on the last 2 regular season home games of this historic 2015-2016 season. Again, that's April 7th and 8th, 7:05 p.m. at the KYC. All tickets to both games are free. Hope to see you all there, folks. Again, on behalf of the Wichita Falls Wildcats, I'm Alex Von Coyle saying enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you next time on Thursday, April 7th. So long, everyone.